Okay, that's amazing. I'm just gonna read that again, Debbie. Hi there, Adriana and peeps. Second time here. Feel so at home after the first time listening to your tracks. I'm curious, Debbie, which of the tracks is your favorite? I have quite a few now. I have more to go up. I've been working on that. Do you do a meditation today? I would love to. I would love to meditate with you guys. Again, I've had a crazy day, crazy week, so I wouldn't mind doing a simple drop-in. It may not be the most, I'm not reinventing the wheel here, but just to hold space together and just feel all of our energy, for me, I think would be really impactful, to sit with however many people end up coming through and just embrace the glory that is this community and people on Insight Timer, and the way that we connect is so beautiful. I'm obsessed with Insight Timer. I'm obsessed with the space and all the people that find me on here. Let me know, if you guys have been here before, if you're new. I feel like I just started these, I think this is my 11th session. Oh my goodness, so many brand new people. I'm so honored to have you here. First of all, thank you for being here. You could be anywhere in the world. That's amazing. I'm so excited about that. Just woke up 6 a.m. and this is very perfect timing topic-wise. Oh, I love that. Oh, fresh in the morning. Wow. Well, good morning, Lauren. That's my middle name. So I love that. Welcome to the space. It's a weekly thing. I hope that we can all get so familiar that we kind of know the drill, and we come in and we just kind of put everything down that we need to, and then we can be vulnerable together. We can talk about neurodiversity, which is often a topic here as well, and radical acceptance as well. And then we see how these things are so closely tied to everything else. And just understanding and empathizing with all the different varieties of people and their brains and their nervous systems and how we all show up in this world. And understanding any human behavior, I think, is so helpful. And understanding, even if you don't necessarily identify with neurodiversity or something, I think it's so impactful to always just expand our knowledge and just meet and talk to as many people. It just makes us greater, more full of depth, more beautiful people as well. I see hearts, so you guys relate. We're all down. We're all down. Sorry, I always get this. I think it's a nervous thing, because again, I'm still fairly new to this, where I get kind of my throat chakra is really getting ready. But I feel once I lean in, it's amazing. The version of me that comes out here, I've been saying is my favorite version. I feel this is my most innermost self, is just the energy you guys bring out of me. The questions you ask, I'm so honored to answer. I'm so honored to go through so many challenges that were not for nothing, and I don't think they ever are. And being able to share that and integrate that wisdom with you guys and help, just if you have any questions, drop it, right? Drop it here. If you have anything on your heart, drop it here. There's a beautiful kind of intuitive kind of energy of being consoled, being held, and also sharing resources, right? We're not just sitting here giving each other unsolicited advice. We're thinking oh, I relate, I've been there, and this is what's been impactful for me. So all I can ever share is my own journey and my own experience, and I'm honored to do that here. I'm amazed at how well it's done. Again, this is my 11th session. My first one, I expected it just to be me and my mom in a chat, and it would be empty, and I think 100 people came. And it was just so beautiful, and it changed my time. It broke open a new timeline. It was like a quantum leap for me. Let me know if you guys can hear me. I really hope my mic is doing well, because that was a very loud truck outside. I'm coming at you live from Vancouver, BC, and all the city sounds. So let's practice some radical acceptance from my window right here. Right here. You guys can see it's really close. You guys are great. I appreciate you. So I have a lot to tell you guys. If you've never been here before, let us know so we can greet you excitedly. Just drop in and say hello. How's your morning going? Where are you joining us from? How did you find me? Have you listened to any of my tracks? I'm Adriana. I'm a holistic coach. I specifically work with neurodiverse people. And that's something I didn't even realize I was doing at first, which I realize in hindsight, a lot of the things that we're being prepared for in life, we're not even consciously aware of. I think when I first started trying to be an entrepreneur, I had the best intentions, but they always say find your niche or your niche or whatever, and your audience. And I was I just want to serve everyone. I want to love everyone. I want to help everyone. And I never realized that I was actually working with people that were all very similar, in that they were late diagnosed or undiagnosed neurodiverse people struggling with executive function, that dysfunction that they didn't know they had, and how that manifests in different ways, and different problems with emotional regulation and ARFID, avoidant restrictive food intake disorder and things like that are so real. If we're not in those kind of corners of the world and we're not around people who experience these things, we don't know, right? And sometimes we don't even know what we're going through as we're going through it. So that's also what I like to call the 1-2 punch by life, okay? But we come here together and then we don't have to be confused anymore. Like, we relate to each other, we share all of our resources and our experiences, and then other people don't have to go through what we've gone through, right? And then we also get to help ourselves, and it's just amazing. I think that, you know, coaching is one thing, but essentially the first thing I ever coached was myself. And no matter how holistic I got, like becoming like an awarded cyclist and like becoming a personal trainer and a rock climbing instructor, like I'm scared of heights. Like I started doing all these incredible things that like young Adriana would be obsessed with and so proud of. But the one thing I never was really hitting was like those community markers. Like, you know, I forget what grid it is, but like all of your needs in life and what that's like. I just realized, sorry, I'm just making sure everything's working here. All the different aspects, right? Because you need like your basic needs, like your resources, food, water, shelter, you know, things like that, obviously. But we also need like an impactful career, and we need like relationships that are meaningful. And no matter how much I was like checking off everything in my life and starting to grow and really regulate after years of confusion and trauma and all these things, right? No matter what, the community it wasn't happening for me. And if it was never staying. And I never realized like the complications of like not understanding if you have like neural complexities and how that can manifest in your relationships. I was essentially scaring away friends or missing cues to develop deeper friendships and things like that I didn't even know. And I started doing these and I realized how many more people were in the same place. And yeah, it's interesting. The thing actually I noticed I want to share is that my mom usually comes to all of these sessions, but she's not here right now. And that's what I noticed. She's always one of the first here. It's like Tina. So I hope she's all good. She's one of my biggest cheerleaders. We've been through a lot. My family, we have like, I'm going to share a bit of my story today. And my parents and I have had a complicated relationship, but it has been so meaningful in that we've come through all of it together. And that's also a really good like sign of, you know, like a good indication of that like radical acceptance. To come through kind of everything, and it wasn't pretty, and I know a lot of people can relate having challenging relationships with their family and stuff like that. I think family is one of the most complex things, and it's one of the things people bring here in the space. They have questions about like my family doesn't see or appreciate me, or like I don't feel understood by my family and things like that. And I'm like, consider us your family, because you can't fix everything. And when you're in that place, you're probably so unregulated, and like you're probably experiencing that in your career and like other places. Like, put it all down. Don't try to fix it. Come here every week and let's hold each other and re-energize each other, and then go out in the week a little more clear-headed, a little bit more like, I have access to resources. I know there's people here that I can talk to. I know that everything's going to work out. It just changes your brain too. Like for me, I started on Insight Timer like 4 years ago, but Jessica Amos was incredible. The Open Hearts Club, she'd been doing it for 4 years, and I think like year 3 I found it. And just like from a neural plasticity perspective, every week being told I was worthy and shown that by a community that was showing up every week, like helped rewire my brain and helped change the way I perceive myself and the world around me. Like it literally built safety signals. And oh, there we go. Tina, is that... We're good? Okay. Whew. So let me know if that resonates. And you really see the neurodiversity, because I'm like, I'm half here, half on the chat. I lose my train of thought a lot. I get very emotional very easily, but you guys just love me for it, and I love you. You have no idea. I see like my comedy too is outrageous, because I don't think I have that filter before I speak. So I'm lucky that I'm full of like sugar plums and sunshine, because that filter is, but I wasn't always, right? Like I had to dance with the devil and my darkness and my shadow to be here. And now I'm not worried about ever saying anything too crazy, because I know my heart is very pure and in the right place. And I meditate in the morning. Okay. I eat well. Like I carry it into all aspects of my life. I try my best, you know, it's been a long journey. And I will talk a bit about it today. I'm wondering who's here from the last session, because I did promise to tell my story, and I'm like, if no one holds me to it, no, I will. But yeah, I can't believe already 48 meditators here. It's only 10 after. You guys are amazing. If you guys are just listening, whether you drop in the chat or not, I really appreciate you. I feel you. I love that you're here, and I love just this presence of everyone of being here together and doing these impactful things in these spaces. So usually it's a really like transformative and beneficial session. I always say I'm going to get in and get out, because like I'm trying to use this content, and it's when it goes really long. I've had like sessions here that have gone for like 3.5 hours. It's really hard to get on top of all of that. And but I just, at the end of the day, I think I'm like kind of starved for this. Like I need it as much as, like, I'm doing it for people that I don't want to go through what I went through, and I want to help kind of create a softer and kinder world. And I want to, you know, it's like I'm serving, but I'm also doing it for myself, because when I'm here, I feel more like myself than any other place, you know. And the connections I've made here, it feels like people who I've known my whole life. And I think a lot of times in like the third dimensional world, we just like, we don't have that. Like we don't have people in our lives that really represent our inner selves, but then we find them on the internet, and we're like, why? Like, where are you in real life? How can I have such radically different experiences? And I want to let you guys know that, yes, it is a safe place, Debbie. I want to let you guys know that, like, even though I'm here and I'm doing this, like, I still navigate this stuff very, very real. It's very real for me still, too. I still have hard days, and we usually have Aaron here, and he's like, you seem like you've got it together. Like, I feel like I'm in slow motion compared to you. And I was like, you should see me. Like, spend 72 hours straight with me, like a documentary, right? It's like, I seem okay now, right? But there is those challenges that are unseen, and you never know what someone's battling with. So yeah. What was Jessica's last name? Jessica Amos, Amos. And she did the Open Hearts Club. She put a pause on it, but she has so many incredible tracks here. She's my favorite voice in my head. I'm absolutely a huge fan. I always credit her for being one of my main inspirations for being here, and I wouldn't know how to do this if it weren't for her. I watched her do this for 3 years. I lovingly sat on my bed, like, you know, with my Insight Timer app open, drank my coffee with her in the Open Hearts Club, and they changed my life. And that's what I want for here. And yeah, I feel like the space is different because there's like the aspect of being undiagnosed neurodiverse, and all of the experiences that happen within that weren't being advocated for or understood. And in hindsight, right, 2020, everything makes sense. It's like the panic attacks that I was having that were so bad, and like things got so bad at one point, like there was like police involved, hospitals, like psychiatrists, like it was just everything was very aggravated, like turned up on high. And I was like gonna forget where I was going with this, which is, I mean, it's bound to happen at least once in the life. It's gonna come right back. I might have to loop back to it. Sometimes this happens, but essentially everything was turned up on high, and in hindsight, it didn't have to be like that. With resources and understanding, it doesn't, like, you see sensory overwhelm coming, and you identify it, right? And then it doesn't get to that. When you don't understand these things, they kind of have more control over us, right? It's kind of like how radical acceptance is a kind of the surrender and what frees us, and resistance is what kind of entangles us further, right? When we resist something and we run from it or push it or avoid it or don't understand it or don't try to understand it, it becomes louder. And when we create space in radical acceptance, and in the radical acceptance, we usually have a realization about, you know, a part of ourselves or a part of our lives, right? It's always when we release the outcome, when we don't want to, though, right? We're like, I need answers. And then it's like, I'm not going to get them, am I? So I have something very vulnerable to share, because I want to be really upfront with you guys, because that's like the whole point. But my train of thought is probably going to be worse today. And I do look a little tired today, because yesterday I had just sat down and I had the most beautiful meal. I made some chicken wings and some salad, and I was really enjoying it. And I had this lucid moment, and I was like, life is so beautiful. I'm just in such a good place, like financially. It's probably the first time I didn't feel fear. And developing this and looking forward to this. And then I met someone that is emotionally aware, which means so much. I have this piece of hair here, but I it just seems like all parts of my life were like, yeah, thank you for your love, because it's amazing. It's like, and I have this story literally written on a poster board. It's like my story and all the trauma I went through that I didn't need to. And it's like column A to B, the good to the bad. And like when I started practicing radical acceptance and freeing myself and things started turning around, but then it goes back down again. And there's like more challenges, more trauma. And then it goes up and then it goes down, right? And I was like, man, we're really gliding now. And yesterday I just had this moment of like, everything is so sweet. I feel like it's like sickeningly sweet. I just like, the sun was shining, had such a good sleep schedule. Like the last 2 mornings I woke up with the birds, I had like my tea, the sunrise, and I kid you not, right after having this beautiful lucid moment of just like being drunk with gratitude, I looked at my bank account and someone got into all of my accounts and drained them and maxed out all of my credit cards. And yeah, I don't know what to say. I think I'll be able to speak about it more when I've processed it and I've slept. Because I found that out and I was on the phone with everyone and everything. And I'm gonna share the beautiful part. Yeah, you guys are sending love with the hearts. That means so much. My parents were like, I'm so proud of you. And the person I've been, spending time with was like, I'm so proud of you. And I was like, that means so much, because they were like, you handled it fast. You handled it well. Like, and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to hold on to that. I can't hold on to anything else. Like I made a police report. I did the whole, I did it all. And there's so many things I could take from it. But again, I'll take some space to process it. But I think on a very real level, this version of me was the most equipped to handle it. Like, I am not okay, definitely. I'm like freaking out, right? Like, you're like, wait, what? You can do that? Like, I had no idea. I feel vulnerable, naive. I feel like, there's so many things. But at the same time, I'm like, there was just this like lucid moment in like the height of adrenaline and fear that was like, so what? Like, like I just felt myself. It was very like Thich Nhat Hanh, like where I just felt myself still like as my mountain with no money. No idea what's going on and all this fear, but still me and in myself, probably going to make it through anything. So I'm gonna cry. It's beautiful. To even like, yeah, because it's so hard to practice radical acceptance when we need it the most. And all these things I talk about every week, like it has helped me too, right? Like I think integrity is my number one value, and the things I teach, I 100% embody. I wouldn't be here. I think I waited too long to be a teacher. I thought I wasn't qualified or I wasn't good enough, right? And yeah, the radical acceptance and knowing that I have this. And my parents too, they were like, you're gonna cancel your life, right? Like take the day off, like no sleep, tons of stress. And I was like, no, not a thought in my mind. I was like, I need this now more than ever. I need this community and to say, guys, look, radical acceptance. I'm breathing. Like, look, you can do it too. We can do it together, no matter what. And it's so beautiful. This is life. This is the human experience is terrifying. And I think if we all accepted that a little more, it would cause us a lot less suffering. But like easier said than done, am I right? So I got to be in the true terror, and I thought, man, this is one end of the spectrum of experiencing emotion, right? Like I've talked about that before, how when we've experienced trauma, like good emotions also have a high charge, right? And bad emotions we're used to have a high charge. So sometimes it takes us a while to identify like, oh, we're actually safe in like these high joy, high level, joy and kind of blissful emotions and states. And the duality of experiencing both sometimes like in the same week. I just thought, well, look at all this still that I have, like the ability to breathe and bike and walk and like, you're like, should I sell my bike? Like, what do I, you're thinking like assets, like, no, I won't get into the comedy yet, because that's how I think that's like my number one like spitfire like coping mechanism since childhood is like just Chandler Bing it, which we do have some good laughs here and I love it. So thank you for radically accepting my comedy, however it comes out, whenever it comes out, and yeah, for holding space for that. So I don't mean to drop that bomb on you, because this is again a very rejuvenating app, but I hope it's inspiring in a way, if that's possible, or helpful to you in any way. And it reminds you to really, when they say two-factor authentication, they mean it. Okay? And I think I did have two-factor authentication on everything, but I'm just gonna say, like, Double down, guys. I love you too much to see anyone go down like I just did. I'm still like haven't processed it. I haven't really slept either, so I'm like, let's be really honest with everyone that I might be a little bit more tired, messy bun, you know? This is the vibe today. So if anyone feels like their life is chaos, you're not alone. You're so not alone, and you're probably the best. And I love you, and thank you for coming. And if your life is on the good, on the high, sweet. Love that. Like, it's like the Wheel of Fortune, right? Like the sweetest moment and then the fall, right? Like, I like when the wheel's a bit more, like, I like neutrality. Some people say, are you happy? Are you happy in life? And I'm like, what? Do I really want to be happy all the time? Can I just be neutral and then experience joy, experience this, experience that? And it's like a gift each time, every human experience, every emotion, observing it all, appreciating it all. So, I don't know. That's my way of doing it now. Because we're not promised happiness. We're not promised good emotions all the time. And if we did, we wouldn't know them. We wouldn't recognize them, right? Like, how would you know the light if you didn't know the dark? Right? I think we know that. Of course, we're the community of Insight Timer. We're all here on a spiritual quest, on a seeking of betterment, of growing, of healing, of, you know, nurturing ourselves and each other. So this is the best place ever. And I thank you guys for the space you just held for me. And if you want to go over my story, it's heavier. And if you want to hold space and do that today, let me know. Last session they were asking for it, but I don't know if any of them are like, if it's hard to tell because some people can't make it to every session. So I'm like, are we still on for the story, or do you guys just want to meditate? And yeah, let me know what your vibe is. I think this is a community space more than anything. And I love when you guys drop in the chat and engage and let me know where you're coming from, if you've been here before, how you found me, if there's any tracks of mine you like, if there's anything you want me to do on here. I'd love to make a course. If you guys have any recommendations or a track specifically for you guys, it's like love letters, because this is my #1 favorite way to serve. I've obviously on other social media, and you can find me on my teacher profile and my links and everything, but this is my favorite. This is the most rejuvenating. I just energetically, it feels more like resourceful and sustainable. And then of course the donations and all of that really helps as well. And when you donate, it goes towards me creating resources for undiagnosed, late diagnosed, neurodiverse people, or anyone who relates to the resources. And I like to say this is that this wasn't me. I think this was Dr. Kim Sage that said, if the resources are helpful for you, they're for you. Like, regardless of where you are in your life, if you're diagnosed, whatever it is, if there's a resource for anything that does actually apply to you and you feel like it's helpful for you, you should never feel like that's not for you. So I welcome everyone here to ask for what they need. Open your heart, right? Like, I'm so inspired by Jessica Amos and the Open Hearts Club and how we were all able to really just have that safe place weekly. And then we have an awesome, like, kind of neurodiverse twist, right? Where we're going to talk about neurodiversity and my story, when requested, which I'm typing it up as well so that you guys can access it off of the app. And I could even do a recording where I read it on the app, because it's nice to keep things on the app, because then I can really talk about them in the chat, right? And then you can also go and enjoy those, not enjoy, but you know what I mean? My terrible story. No, it's a hero's journey, okay? Let me cook. But you can take that kind of on your own time and your own capacity. So that's what I'm working on, is just kind of getting all the resources and all the things there. So if we don't get to a meditation here, or we don't get to going into my story, or you're really curious about, you know, something, it's there as well. And just building that up. So yeah, so thank you guys. I think that's kind of, there's so many things I should be saying throughout. I should, you know, properly introduce myself, ask for donations, especially now more than ever that I'm like they're always impactful, but today I'm like, guys, like, I almost want to get like another job, like immediately, you know what I mean? Like, the fear, anyway, the fear, it gets to exist, radically accept it, right? Anyone watch Friends when Chandler's trying to get Rachel to quit her job? He's like, you need the fear. She's like, I don't want the fear. But mine's not from starting a new job in fashion. Mine's from an international scammer. But like, we all have our own stories, right? I never expected mine to be this, really. Like, growing up in Canada, parents both working class, like nurses, registered nurses. Me and my sibling were really close. I had a nice school district. Like, I just never, ever could have expected that my life would take the twists and turns that it has. And in hindsight, I would not change a thing because my whole perception has opened. My whole, like, it's not the same world. And it's like, yeah, trauma and my body and anxiety and yes, there's symptoms, there's the chronic illness, there's autoimmune, like there's such a high ticket for it all, but there's such an immense beauty and appreciation and empathy and depth and curiosity, and I would never trade it, ever, ever. But I think people can do that and they don't have to do it as painfully and as chaotically. So yeah, that's why I'm here. Everything I share, if you guys have any questions, let me know. If you guys, what your experience is with radical acceptance, what your experience is with neurodiversity, drop it in the chat. 72 of us here. I'm just so thankful. It just, yeah, it's very healing, you know, for me to be like, wow, this is like a dream, guys. It really is. And I never stop appreciating that. And yet last week I had a full-on eye infection, which you can still see is healing. So yeah, let me know how your guys' week have been. Has there been anything that's been eventful on your guys' end? How's the energy been? Have you guys had any kind of, like, coming out of the retrograde and the new moon and all these kind of intense energies, has anyone had like any crazy freak accidents or like tense tension? Or is it more like, are you on the opposite? Are you more like kind of like vibing and like enjoying the energy right now? Like, I love to see, because we're never alone, and we see that when we share, like, that we have such an isolated experience. We think, oh, should I even share it? And then you type it out and someone is exactly going through it, and it's like, we really don't have one original experience. And that's the one beautiful thing about social media I love, is that it really made me realize, like, damn, we're all the same in a really beautiful way, and we get to connect, and it's actually empowering if we do it the right way, right? Not in like the dopamine loop, like, you know, there's disempowering ways, of course. We've all, I'm sure, scrolled too hard and been like, what did I just do? But this is my favorite. I don't feel like you can ever spend enough time on here. I used to go and sit in live event after live event in the peak of, you know, my, I guess, healing, my self-healing. And it never stops, right? The healing journey is not linear. It never stops. It's a practice every day. No matter how much I admire who I've become, and I look in the mirror and I'm like, damn, like, I'm impressed with who I've become, or my inner child would trust me, or, you know, those like powerful moments when you realize, like, all this work has been worth it. Mind, body, soul, right? When we're really trying to change our vibration in a positive way, and change the way we communicate and the way we talk to ourselves and love ourselves, right? Like, this is hard work. We have to give ourselves credit for this. And no matter what, I always thought, like, oh, I'd arrive at this point and some of these challenges would just dissipate and they wouldn't come up anymore. And that's just not true at all. Like, it's just that you're more equipped, you have more experience saying, well, let's try something else, or let's be resourceful. So it's so interesting, human behavior. And I love to learn about all of it, kind of like lean back and see, like, what is energetic, what is like just human nature and the way that we are and the way our brains work, learning about the nervous system, and like just learning as much as we can, and like having a really kind of wider perspective on the way that we see ourselves, our body, the way we react to things. It can help us empathy with other human behavior. When people in our family or people around us, you know, have like narcissistic qualities or things like that, like, we can understand that there's no excuse for treating someone poorly, but like, everything is just a representation or a reflection of our childhood if we haven't dealt with it, right? Or a part of ourselves that we haven't necessarily acknowledged, right? And I find when a lot of people project on me, they're saying something to themselves. It usually doesn't have a lot to do with me, and I have done the same in hindsight, right? Like, I'm always really careful before if I ever feel like I need to say something critical of someone, you know, which isn't very often, because again, a lot of like work and awareness on that, but I can, because of the autism, be a little bit lacking of cognitive empathy, but overdosing on emotional empathy. So every time now I'm like, okay, if it's critical, it's usually like my own advice that I need to take. So I don't know, that's really abstract, but if that's like something, if you guys could try throughout the week, is when you are giving advice, or like, not criticism, but do you know what I mean? And hear it and ask if it applies to something in your life or a situation for you. And usually it does. Like, we really are just kind of mirroring, like, all of our experiences mirror us in these ways. So I try not to look in it to, like, we don't want to use our experiences though on the other side, right, to kind of like gaslight ourselves, because when things like this happened with my bank account and my credit cards and all this, right, like, I think there was a part of me when I first started learning about spirituality that would think, like, how did you manifest this? Or, like, you know, like, what, and, like, you know what I mean? Like, how did you do this? You know what I mean? Like, how did you, who, like, karmically, like, how did this happen? You know? And I just don't feel that way now. Like, I think everything happens for a reason, but I also think, like, I don't entertain unresourceful thoughts about anything anymore, because, like, you get to a point of just experiencing your journey so much and just being, like, tired and needing to just put everything down and keep moving with what's resourceful. And yeah, I hope that resonates for you guys. I'm so tired. I looked at the light and I was like, that's a bad idea. Makes my skin look really, like, I don't look like this in real life, guys. This is like a really good light that I got going here, because I don't look as tired as I am, which, again, we've talked about this before, like, being late diagnosed autistic and stuff. I like, for late diagnosed women that are highly masked most of their life, you can't often tell how much they're struggling, ever, like, because they're quite neutral. So I think that that's something we experience with, like, in my personal relationships as well, is like, I seem to kind of lose it on people, but it's actually been building for a long time, and there's little signs that I'm agitated or I'm going into sensory overwhelm, but I wasn't catching them because I was undiagnosed for so long, and then other people don't catch them because I seem fine. I'm, like, advocating for myself, speaking clearly, using good English, like, but then I'm on the inside, like, absolutely struggling, right? So it's so helpful when we learn these things and we can use them to be like, oh, that makes a lot of sense in hindsight. There's so many things I could say. I want to read the chat though before it scrolls up, and then my brain won't split into two sections here. Let me know if this resonates for you guys, and let me know, is anyone here neurodiverse or suspecting that they are neurodiverse, or just getting curious about it? Yay. I did a few, but love them all. Grief was huge. I love that. Yeah, the Bring Your Joy, Grief, Fear, Debbie, that track I made, that was like, when I first started making the meditation tracks, I just remember needing them for myself. I just remember being like in an absolute a very emotionally vulnerable place in my life, and channeling it in such a powerful way. Like, I just love this moment of my story that I just, like, so much pain, so much sadness, so much grief, so much tenderness, and I turned on the microphone and I spoke to myself. I spoke to my inner child. I'm gonna cry because, yeah, tired. You know how you get more emotional when you're tired? Like, you have that less of a shield, you know, just to your daily human emotions. I'm already like a lover girl certified, guys. Like, I'm gonna be crying anyway. So then I have no sleep and a drained bank account. It's like, oh, give me sunglasses today. Thank you for your support with the hearts. Thank you. I need it. Sometimes I'm like, oh God, guys, how are we holding up? Like, you guys still like me? No. But you know that, like, anxiety though of ADHD and autism, it's like, I learned that part of your executive dysfunction is always sensing impending abandonment or rejection or criticism. And I was like, that's so real. I'm like, guys, are we good? Do you like this? Learning to internally validate myself was huge, but then realizing that I can't at a point. Like, it's just part of being neurodiverse. Like, I have to be lover girl. I have to only go into environments where I'm not getting attacked and getting, like, pew 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 with, like, little comments of criticism. It's just, like, debilitating to me. It'll put me into rejection sensitivity dysphoria, and I could, like, lose a day. Okay, we can't be doing that. And again, that's something I've learned the hard way, which I love being able to talk to you guys about that. You know, you're like, should I put up with this environment any longer? I'm like, no, you should just go. You should just go, you know. But easier said than done, right? And we're here to support each other through the systematics, right? Because there's a whole economic aspect, financial, like, we can't just flee the things that don't serve us, like a movie, right? It'd be a really good movie, you know, but it's just not life. And we can do the challenges together, we can do the grief together, we can do the joy together. So I'm excited. You guys are stuck with me. Exhaustion. So yes, Debbie, when you That's that track for sure. That Bring Your Grief track that I was referring to. That was I think one of the first ones I ever just poured my heart into. And then I posted it and it got approved. And when I got approved as an Insight Timer teacher, I took that as like the high, like I think I don't know if I talked to anyone for a week. I just basked in it because I always looked up to people on here and I always just saw I don't know, I think it's just a natural part of like imposter syndrome and like capitalism to make you think you're never ready to do something. And I just admired and appreciated the people on here so much that like when I got to see myself kind of next to them, amazing. And then to be here and people are like, you're actually like, this is a good time, I want to come back. I was like, really? That's incredible. And now we've just like, it's been 11 sessions. I feel like a different person. We've covered so much incredible stuff. I've learned, I've shared knowledge, I've shared my story. Like it's been so enriching, and it's something I look forward to every week. And yeah, it's like kind of a dream fulfillment in a way, and a major alignment, when you kind of start to do things that are scary but feel really honest to who you have always been underneath everything, and it starts to work, right? That's why I think yesterday felt so shocking, because it felt like after all of the like struggling and swimming upstream and like rejection and like this didn't work and obstacle and that, I felt like I kind of was breaking through. And then yesterday that all happened and I was just like, well, I can keep building, you know. I'm gonna pause, I'm gonna allow myself, like somatically I like move my body, made sure to like, because think about my cells, think about when your body kind of has shock or grief, like think about how everything is kind of like energetically. So I just like did gentle walks, I like talked to people that I care about, and just like was like, I can come back here and share this in the way that I want people to come and share here as well. So thank you, Melissa, that means so much. My vulnerability and authenticity has often been appreciated here, and it made me wonder, like, how have I been in this world? Have I just been out here? Because this is how I am. So I'm like, I look back at my experiences and I'm like, oh, like I'm vulnerable. I'm naive. Like I'm out here as like, again, certified lover girl, like someone protect her. I'm like, how did this all happen? But then I'm like, I'm out here believe in the best and learning to identify the worst as with resources and community. And I'm so much stronger and smarter now, but still in some ways so a naive but gifted child, right? Because that's so the trajectory for so many people. Extremely gifted child and teen, burnt out adult. Childlike adult. Does anyone resonate with that? The wise child, the childish adult? Because that is such a neurodiverse thing, and there's so much research starting to come out showing that where people weren't diagnosed when they were younger, it's because they weren't agitated. They were in their gifted state, and when they experience burnout, then we're starting to see executive dysfunction and stuff at a higher level. And like it's just really hard to diagnose people too when you don't see everything, right? Like you only get snapshots, right? We can only do so much. We're all trying our best. We're all doing more research, learning, right? And we've talked about that here, that women in research only really started in the 1970s. And even just like with metabolic health and fitness, women were considered tiny men until like 2010, right? So we're just like, we're still learning all together, and that demands radical acceptance. And some people go in for diagnosis or to talk to someone about neurodiversity or, you know, mental health or something, right? And then the person they're speaking to doesn't have new research on high masking or on different manifestations of different groups, like minorities and women and stuff like this. So it's such a nuanced and complex journey. And even if you seek diagnosis and you aren't diagnosed, your journey is still valid. Like no matter what you're diagnosed or not diagnosed as, or whatever your label you have or don't have, no matter what your experience is, no matter what language you can or can't find for it, is valid, and it's real. And it's completely valid. And all language and science and all these things is just kind of like theory to make sense of our experiences and to communicate it. And sometimes I lean back and I see, if I'm reading really abstract, like everything is theory. Like nothing, we don't really know anything. Everything is pretty, when you look at the universe, and you know what I mean? Like it's all kind of banana pants, you know? And that's a scientific fact, you know? But I come on here and I'm always saying, like, guys, I'm not, I'm not a doctor, and like I'm just sharing personal experience, but my experience was mostly challenging in terms of like seeking diagnosis or representation or being advocated for when I was younger, when I was displaying things that were really obviously like ADHD, autism. So yeah, and there's also a link between a lot of women that have found spirituality and found talent within spirituality now receiving diagnosis. And I don't know how to speak necessarily on the link, but I'm sure you others have noticed that as well, is that in other places in the world, autism is seen as like doing things, like it's seen as like not a disability, but like more of like an ability to see and understand different things, and to, yes, look and present and you know what I mean? And we've talked about the spectrum not being like this, but being like a color wheel. And like where I could experience more executive dysfunction, you could experience more of this, and we could present differently. And then I always say Kaylin Partlow on Instagram, I love her. I think she was on Love on the Spectrum or something. I don't know, I just love her. I found her on Instagram. Once you follow one autistic creator, you find that all of them, and you're just like, follow. And then people, speak about your experiences, and you're like, I had no idea. But she says to know one autistic person is to know one autistic person, and that rang really true for me. I always thought, there's no way, I don't look like this, blah, blah, blah. But I was formally diagnosed with ADHD young, and yeah, I think a lot of people had the experience that I had, where they were just put on medication and they weren't taught anything. And as your hormones change as a woman and things in your life change, and higher stress and trauma and stuff, like the way that you present is different, and the way that you're experiencing your executive dysfunction or your burnout or shutdown, or like there's just so many things, and we only have so much research and understanding. So at the end of the day, I think having resources that don't claim to fix anything, like having really, like taking a lot of like really well done research and having a wider scope to things, and being open-minded and radically accepting of ourselves and others. Anyone who's going through this, I'm sure we all know someone right now that is discovering that they're neurodiverse, and we can look back at so many public like icons in history and how quirky they were and things like that, and it's like they seem like they're on the spectrum, or they're neurodiverse in hindsight. So yeah. I've also, talked to a lot of people in their 60s and 70s that have been recently diagnosed, and that angry old uncle of yours isn't angry, he's misrepresented. He's lived his whole life undiagnosed and has, like, imagine, right? Like, I think we all relate. We've all been in environments where it doesn't feel good, but we don't know why. It doesn't feel good and we don't know why, and then we start to learn that people aren't being nice to us, and we may not even pick that up, right? Because language can be so, it can imply things, and implications are lost on me a lot of the time. And when people look for implications in what I'm saying, it's gonna be a bad time, because I don't have them. What I'm saying is what I'm saying. I will not, I have no understanding of why I would want to tell you something to imply something else. I will tell you exactly what and maybe that's seen as a social faux pas, but in my eyes, I think not being clear is a social faux pas. I don't know. I'm a lover girl. I need communication. I need kindness. And if that means limiting, then creating more boundaries and being more assertive and more observant of my life, and then so be it, right? It takes some work to be, able to discern what we need to explain ourselves, when we need to put things down, and when we need to get more resources, when we need to ask for help for ourselves or someone, right? So we're all doing the best that we can, and I think just this being alive, this human experience, all of it is wild, unfamiliar but familiar. We don't have a plan, we don't have a script, we're all doing our best, even our parents, we're all kind of guessing. The more I grow, the more I know that, like, no one really knows what they're doing. Terrifying things can happen, which I shared. I don't know if 96 meditators here, I don't know if you guys were here when I told you what happened yesterday, but essentially, like, just the worst thing that could happen in terms of like a scammer, and you can imagine the rest. I'll probably speak about it more when I've processed it, but I'm just really thankful to be here, still breathing, still in my heart, that I've worked so hard to nourish and protect and love, and I know I've got me through everything And I'm just thankful. I'm really thankful for all the time I spent going through challenges, which my poster board here, it's like my story. If you guys want me to kind of go over it, they asked last session, but I don't know if everyone is here from last session. But essentially, it's just my story in terms of undiagnosed autism, because there's no way I could put all of it. Like, it's how do you tell your story? Like, think about anyone's, like, I know I'm not alone in this. Like, there's a lot of people who have almost my exact story because they were undiagnosed or late diagnosed or similar experiences, right? The comorbidity between ADHD and autism, and then we have people on the spectrum also experiencing like hypermobility, EDS, POTS, like all these different things, right? And you mix that together with not understanding it, and then a spiritual awakening or two, and you've got a really good plot line here. And yeah, I can't really get it all, but I'm writing it all so it can be more. And then again, I can record it and pop it on here as well, so you guys can listen to it on your own as well. But I can go over that today, again, if you guys want to hold space for that. And, I mean, it does have a happy ending. We're here. And everything, I think it's anyone's journey knows that everything you go through just brings you into the best version of yourself with more depth and more wisdom, more awareness, more capacity for, right? We dig out in this grief and this challenges we didn't ask for or expect. We actually dig out this massive amount of capacity then to be filled later with the abundance and joy and ease and bliss, right? Because it all gets to be here. And we always talk about non-duality and spirituality, but I'm like, what about duality? What about just looking at the crazy spectrum, one end to the other, like extreme grief and sadness and pain, and then looking at all the joy, bliss, gratitude, and how it all gets to coexist, and how I was saying that earlier in the session that I had like the most like heavy wash of like gratitude I'd ever experienced, and then suddenly realized my world had been flipped upside down. And the radical acceptance to be like, this is the human experience, I can experience it all. And before in my journey when I was younger and, you know, still learning, I was so hard on myself, and I think we all are. Like when I experienced a setback or a failure, I couldn't bounce out of it fast enough to then hold my arms open for the next the next opportunity for joy or for resolution or being resourceful. Like I was just so shut down in like shame and blame, right? Because I think that that's systematic in a way, being, you know, neurodivergent and not understanding how that manifests. People get frustrated with you through your life, and you start to build a narrative of like, don't do this, don't do that. You start masking, right? You start doing these things. And even if you're not neurodiverse, we've all learned to kind of like hide parts of ourselves that don't go over well. But turns out those are the best parts of ourselves, and those are just the wrong people. So yeah, my story's kind of aligned with that and all the things that you usually find along a tumultuous journey. A lot of comedy, I call it traumedy. A lot of capacity for love. I have just the softest eyes for myself and others now, and I think that's the greatest gift, and something money can't buy, really. Like you can see that in the world. I always say to people from Open Hearts Club that they're like wise to the heart, and that heart wisdom is like a whole other. To be smart is incredible, but to pair it with emotional awareness and to have good intentions with, you know, your emotional behavior and how you interact with others, like that's very attractive and very beautiful and very, very slay. Very slay. I'm gonna read the comments a bit here. I want to see if anyone is here from like previous sessions, because we do get some regulars. But it seems like today I've got all new people, which is really exciting. I just feel bad that this is your first impression of me coming out of one of the greatest crises of my life. But I love you guys, because if there's anywhere I could go and be like this, it's here. And you guys just like are so curious and kind, and whatever you're doing, if you're just like doing the dishes and listening, or if you're sitting here and prepared for meditation, I'm just so thankful for you guys. From Oakville, Ontario, Leslie, hi. That's so exciting. Ontario. I love Ontario. I love people from out east. I'm in Vancouver, BC, so whenever I'm really getting along with someone, I'm like, you're not from here, are you? And they're like, I'm from Ontario. And I'm like, oh, Ontario is a nugget. It's just full of, it's a treasure chest. Heidi, hi, it's my first time. I'm neurodiverse, a therapist. Oh, it's scrolling. Okay, I'm coming back. I'm like, oh no. a therapist, and my morning started with a trigger already. Woo! Yes, Heidi, doing God's work. When your morning starts with a trigger, and you feel annoyed, like I've felt that, where it's like, and you almost intellectualize the trigger, like, wow, like how, like, no, like, take it back, I don't want it. I don't know, I can like I will intellectualize my emotions. Even still, I'm trying to think of like who to blame, or what to blame, you know? And I'm like, oh my God. And if it's first thing in the morning, I find that I'm the most agitated, most prone to agitation first thing in the morning. That's why a morning ritual is like not just beautiful for me, but necessary. Like, to get in my body, coming out of my sleep, it feels like I'm okay. Fake news. Get on your meditation pillow, breathe, check in. Usually I'm like this. I'm like holding everything. I'm tense. I don't realize I'm crooked. I have like my breathing shallow. My mind is, you know, it's somewhere in the darkness, the back corridors of the subconscious, and I'm like, wow, I didn't even notice. Coming into myself with movement, yoga, a walk outside, meditation, journaling, and I'm like, okay. It's like I find myself after just enough of these practices that are so grounding. It's almost like, who was I before I journaled for 20 minutes and felt my spine suddenly relax? Like, you know when you just suddenly come into consciousness and you take the first big breath you've taken all day, and you're just like, what was I doing before this? Like, I went out like this tense, like this in autopilot, you know? Does anyone else have like the trauma healing autopilot? For the years of like, I was trying to do trauma healing, and it turns out like that wasn't trauma, that was autism. You can't, the sensory overwhelm and the autistic meltdowns are not panic attacks and not trauma. And like, yeah, they're CPTSD, but I was coming at it all wrong because I was diagnosed with it, right? Like, I was doing what I thought, you know? And that's kind of one of the more ironic things about my story too, is in hindsight, when I was my healthiest, right before I discovered I was autistic, I looked really good, I seemed okay. I was still trying to fix the parts of myself that were undiagnosed autism, like having meltdowns and not knowing what they were and where they were coming from, and having so many problems with like sensory stuff and not putting it all together, and always trying to fix and heal it. And when I figured out I was autistic, it was so interesting because yes, it was full of grief and confusion and like, whoa, like it was like shock and all this stuff, right? But it was also like, oh, like that never ending to-do list of things to fix about myself dissipated. Because they're not fixable. They're not, that's my neurotype. Like, that's my brain. That's my nervous system. That's how it works, right? And I've already been in this awakening of like holistic wellness, and so I'm like, oh, let's just learn what they are and how to avoid the most intense manifestations of them. So yes, the things I'd already been doing, like to make myself feel better intuitively, like less blue light, right? Less devices, more nature, right? Like more stress management, more self-care than the average person. I can't eat the processed food that maybe someone at work can next to me. I can't, and like, I have to accept that. I'm more delicate, whatever. I'm more high maintenance to some people, but I have to do that because it allows me to function better, right? So, and it's a balance, right? Because executive dysfunction, sometimes it's okay to eat processed food over nothing, right? If you are struggling and you need your safe food, you have your safe food, damn it. But yeah, if anyone relates to this, being neurodiverse, yeah, everything I share here is for the highest good, I swear. I know I go off and share this stuff, like my experiences and these nuggets of wisdom here. But I just relate so much at the end of the day. And Heidi, you said that specifically, like when your morning starts with a trigger, my mornings are vulnerable, and then a trigger, there's a chance I could lose my whole day in that kind of autopilot version of myself that just isn't my most resourceful, isn't my most impactful. And I need radical acceptance to know that that version of myself still gets to exist. It's not going anywhere. And the more I try to push it away, the more it runs the show. And when I'm just like, oh, of course you had a trigger, of course you're stressed out, like, and I'm there for myself, right? And I'm like, you know, hold myself in it and move forward, right? But also give myself time and space to recover and rest and all of that. That's the best way. It's always radical acceptance. And before I started these lives, right, I just wanted it to be a weekly community hangout, 100%, like a community kind of run space. And then I'm here as well, but I'm not necessarily teaching as much as like just cultivating the space for us. But I said, like, to myself, what is the one thing I would teach if I could? Like, what is one thing that I look at my whole journey, and what what was the most impactful, and like in the absence of it, what made my what made my life harder, right, without it, and what made my life better. And it's always radical acceptance. You can see in my journey and in my story where I didn't have that radical acceptance, so I didn't know how to, you know, look for it, like cultivate it and practice it, and how much I suffered trying to control and hold, and I just really hurt myself and others, right? And I take full responsibility for that now. And the healing journey is so beautiful because it's not about being like, I'm the best, I don't get triggered, like I'm, you know, it's like, no, I'm so vulnerable to triggers. I've been through so much. I'm covered in scars, and I'm so full of love, and I'm so full of resources to just love people and myself in the best way, but to create capacity and space and acceptance for when I drop the ball, because you can't really drop the ball. We're all human. And if we all just stop holding each other accountable and just start kind of moving forward in more resourceful ways, right? Because at this, I think a lot of us, our first thought is to shame or blame ourselves. So why are we like, you know, blah, 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 why did you do that, right? It's like, are you okay? Are you okay? Everything you've been through, are you okay? That's crazy, right? Even extreme joy and success, like, are you okay? That's a huge hit to your system, even though it's beautiful. I don't know, just to be looking around and always empathizing with all the possible manifestations of every experience, and how we're all affected and how we all relate. I'm sure a lot of people can, you know, relate to waking up vulnerable or being frustrated with triggers, and no matter how much we heal, we still get triggered. If someone would have told me that in the beginning, I'd be like, you're lying. It goes away, right? No. We just learn how to deal with it better, and how to connect in impactful ways through it, right? And not, it's not like trauma bonding, but it's like the opposite, right? We share our glimmers, we share the moments we started to feel the chains of our past release, you know? We start to breathe a little deeper together, walk a little straighter, spine's a little straighter. I always say that. I'm like, coming out of these, my spine's always a little straighter. I feel more empowered. If I could just spend the whole session telling you guys how much your presence means to me, no, I'm gonna cry. You get it. I can't do it today because of the sleep deprivation. But yeah, you guys are great. And I don't even know you. It's new people every day. But the way that this empty space feels, and the way you guys hold space for me, and you just listen sometimes. Sometimes it scares me because I don't see hearts or comments, and I'm just like yapping. And I'm like, oh my goodness. You guys could be anywhere and you're here listening to me, and you're actually like listening intently, or you're just like, I don't know. That's what I hope, right? Best case scenario. Thank you for the hearts. Yeah, you guys are great. I am definitely like authentic, vulnerable, almost to a fault. But that's one thing you'll always get here. And I'm so honored that it's being used for resourcefulness and making other people's lives better instead of at the expense of myself, right? Like, vulnerability in the world, for me, ouchie. But vulnerability for us, slay. All of us, slay. Like, we're all gonna heal, grow, recharge, relate, swap pancake recipes if need be. You know, if anyone makes a good baked good throughout the week, write that down, bring it back, you know, share everything, share your joy, share your grief, share everything. Tell me what you want here in the space. I will do it, whether you want me to tell my story specifically, do specific meditation tracks, do a meditation on here. I'm really open, and I love that I can come here and not really know what we're gonna do, because it also helps me not be anxious, because I'm like, oh, I have to do, I mean, I still am, right? Like, I'm autistic, and this is public speaking. It is crazy, actually, though, because I feel like on a very soul level, like a spiritual level, this is, my purpose is what protects me and allows my voice to stay kind of unwavering. But I still feel like, again, that like undiagnosed autistic teen that never felt like, when will I feel ready? You know, I always waited for the world to tell me, like, you're good, like on a water slide, the green light, and you go down. I was like, 30. I was like, anyone? No? No? There's no light? I gotta do it? I gotta do it all? So, you guys have figured that out too, right? Like, no one's coming to save us, no matter how adorable we are. Oh, lover girls. And even boys can be lover girls, guys. There's no gender limitations, or we're not imposing on anyone's identity here, because that's part of my freeing myself, was learning that I wasn't just mysterious and cool. I was undiagnosed autistic and gay. No. I didn't know for so long. I do always kind of bring this up, that there's like a comorbidity between ADHD and autism, but also being neurodiverse and not straight, like just not identifying as straight. So whether, you know, fully like gay or just, you know, polyamorous or different gender identities, or just different, like you just see anything outside of heteronormative standards, and then you see neurodiverse people, and then you're like, these are my people, and I had no idea. And I was always an ally, but I didn't realize how much of an ally I was, you know? You never really, with enough of capitalism and society and the world imposing and telling us who we should be, we actually do kind of not meet ourselves if we don't check to see underneath the layers of everything, you know? It's like I looked under all these layers and I was like, man, this girl is more outside of heteronormative standards and more neurodiverse than we thought. It could possibly be a sleigh. A very sensitive sleigh. Lauren, I had an autistic sensory overload in front of some people last evening and been in shame spiral all night. Lauren, I'm feeling you so much. The shame spiral is so real. It's like quicksand. And no matter how much you learn and resources you have, it's just so strong. So I'm feeling you so much in that, because you have no idea how much I feel you. I'm a holistic practitioner too, but super late knowing about my neurodivergence. I am obsessed with all things holistic wellness, and I've been studying research since I was a kid, my parents' medical textbooks. So I went Western, and then I went Eastern, and then I went back again. And I've like studied Ayurveda, I've studied traditional Chinese medicine, I've studied Germanic new medicine. That one's really interesting. I mean, there's been some holes poked in it, but like I like the idea that like everything in the body is an adaptation to something in the environment or in our psychological landscape. So like the body doesn't create or attack itself. It essentially like adapts to some, like an impact, and it creates an adaptation through the body. I'm butchering it, because someone that's like certified in this would say it so much better. And always remember that, guys. Not a rocket doctor, just a girl, lover girl with personal experience, right? But I love everything to do with wellness. I love everything to do with the idea of healing, biology. Like my special interest, like as soon as I realized I was autistic, I was like, that makes so much sense. Like the years and years of info dumping, so much just medical knowledge on people, and they were like, why? Please make it stop. And I had no idea that they weren't down. So I love that. I would, if you ever want to talk about anything in the holistic space or anything about neurodivergence, if you ever want to find me off here, like message me, guys. This is for all of you. Find me off of here. Follow my teacher profile. That makes me so happy. Feel free to donate, especially after what happened yesterday. Damn. I still haven't processed it, but the donations go towards making resources and doing the space, holding the space, and doing all of this. But yes, follow me, join my group, donate if possible. Find me off of here. I miss you guys through the week. And yeah, if you ever want to chat about anything, like one of my special interests, 100% slip in my DMs. Like, do not hesitate. I will actually be upset if you don't. So I just am really excited, because it's like, where are my people? And here's someone that has my middle name as their first name, and you're a holistic practitioner, and you're learning about your neurodivergence. It's like, so great. It's like, where have you guys been at forever? But do you notice like how much you see in health? What we saw as one thing is now neurodiversity. Like I was doing a lot of treatment for like blood sugar, and it was actually like POTS, because like they kind of look the same. Low blood sugar and low like electrolytes like is kind of the same manifestation. And my mom always thought, oh, like I was like hypoglycemic growing up and blah blah blah, but then like she's not pre-diabetes, and there's like it doesn't add up. So I'm always like, I'm a gestalt processor, and I love to take medical research and personal experience and talk to people and work with people as a coach. And I love to like solve medical riddles. And I've helped my parents get off like all their medication and got them to the healthiest, like, again, giving them credit. I'm not taking the credit from that, because to do these things, to wake up and choose another way of doing something is so real. And my parents are incredible. The lifestyle changes that they've implemented and who they've become. Not many people can say, I went through like a narcissistic abuse cycle with my family and we made it through it, right? Like I hold so much, like my parents are my number one cheerleaders. I love them. And whenever I'm mad at them, it's because I'm scared to lose them. I'm never mad at them. I love them, even in their flaws and my flaws and all of it, right? So my parents being nurses and having such a kind of systematically imprinted way of handling things, and me coming in with all this alternative research, that also was like pushback, right? Because they were like, science says, and my brother too, right? Like, you know, you got a sibling and you're always different. So I love all perspectives, and I'm smart, right? Like, I don't, well, am I? I literally got all my stuff taken yesterday, but I'm smart not to listen to people who make bold health claims. Like, anyone who claims to cure or fix anything doesn't know what they're talking about, because really intelligent people know there's no flippant answers. We're just grasping and uncovering new research every day, and Adriana's somewhere reading it and loving it and freaking out. She's like, did you see the new research? Telling someone at work that doesn't even like her, and she doesn't know. It's me. I'm Adriana. I hate that it's true, though. Like, it's funny here, but it's like, my quest for knowledge is a social faux pas. I love that. You can tell that, Lauren, you really hit a nugget there, because I got really excited. I'm practically frothing over here. I'm like, do you want to talk about holistic wellness and its overlap with neurodivergence? Nia, that's such a beautiful name. Nia? Nia. I have been seeking soul family since I was a teenager. I hear you. Hi, let's all together forever. This is the soul family, guys. I've been waiting all my life. I remember being a teenager and thinking, surely everyone's life is this rich inside, you know, their internal world. No. But I know that there's people out there that do have that, and like, this place is where I find them. And on social media, starting to like hone into, again, that, like, I guess that audience. I never even realized that all the people that were coming to me and that I was finding in my journey all had something in common. They were all neurodiverse, whether they knew it or not. Banana pants. Just banana pants. Okay, Debbie, me, and I do want to hear. What, my story? If enough of you ask, I will shoot through it, because we're already at an hour 08. Love a good story. Yeah, you say that like it's a good story, but it's like, she survives it, barely. No, I just feel like a woman in Canada with like parents with good jobs, there's just a lot of suffering. So I just like to be really open about that. She's a tumultuous journey. Whatever that face was. I actually kind of like that one. I've learned to do strange faces when people are trying to digest what I said, you know? It kind of like de-escalates it, you know? You say something weird, but then you're like... Or it makes it worse, but more bearable for me. I've also been told I look like Jim Carrey, because I can do a lot of, because again, practicing my whole life. I feel like actually I could be on Broadway or an actor, because of just like my ability through masking, you know, to take on like accents and stuff really fast. Roxana, that's a beautiful name too. How can you heal relationships with old parents if they broke trust and do not care about my personal... Oh, this is going to be a good one, guys. It's scrolling down and going back up. I can already tell I relate to this. And do not care about my personal desires or interests. Oh, that's a tricky one, because I navigate that too. I still have a complicated relationship with my family, and I think the way that I navigate it is that I call it trauma amnesia. Is that like, there's moments of clarity. Like, it's like amnesia. Like, there's moments of clarity where we're all in the field of understanding and clarity, and we're all like, I know what we can do to be more resourceful and more communicative. I see my patterns. I will change my behavior. And then that moment passes, and you go back into old neural pathways, right? And our parents are the worst for it, because they're older too, right? Like, it's a neural pathway. Like, think of a train track that's just gone down that track so many times. It's really hard to get it to turn. Not impossible, but it's hard. And it takes more than just loving your child. It takes more than loving your child. Your parents can love you so much, so sickeningly much, but it will not turn that train. And they will not be able to align and understand how those two things are related. Does that make sense? Like, that's the hardest thing. It actually is heartbreaking. I remember when my Nana had like dementia, Alzheimer's, and the way I grieved and processed that is similar to how I processed never fully being able to be totally seen and safe by my family. And again, lover girl, obsessed with my family, was like a baby, like so close with my parents, so close with my sibling, all went through the fire. All of it. And some of it didn't come out. I'm not close with all my family now. I would love to be. People are like, have you tried talking? I'm like, bruh, you're gonna go up to someone that has a diverse, tumultuous journey of trauma and say, have you tried this? Like, I'm gonna assume that everyone that has trauma has tried the first or second thing that comes to your mind, right? Like, can we have some like respect for people's journey and not just, you know, it's good intention, but people spit the first unsolicited advice and it's like, oh yeah, that's new, thanks. Have you tried talking to your sibling? No, I thought I'd just complain about it. Yeah, thanks, dude. Like, without comedy, I would have to fight people. I actually, one of the worst things that happened growing up is that people would, like, at parties and stuff, I would get targeted by physical assaults. Like, I actually got, like old school Hollywood movie, like, you see kids getting, like, shoved in the lockers. Like, this was me. And I'm gonna forget what I was saying, but it was such an impactful thing. Where was I going with that? God, that was such an important point, too, for me to be like, something about assault, which is like not fun to talk about, but it was relevant. It'll come back. This is the lack of sleep again. I don't know. This is like, again, the neurodiverse live, right? Like, train of thought. Who is she? We don't know her. But, yeah. I don't know where I was going with that. I'll loop back around because, again, it's in my story. But your parents are going to be the heart. I think they're one of the greatest spiritual teachers, and how on a human and third dimensional level, how could someone hugging you? I'm hugging you back, dude. Like, I feel the same way. As I've healed myself or done the healing journey, all the things, been here, seen how much I love others and want love for, like, them to be protected, and then reflected that back onto me, right? Like, a lot of I'm just, again, such a lover girl that loving you guys makes me turn that back on me, if that makes sense. Like, sometimes when I can't do it for myself, I can do it through here and through how much I love other people. And, yeah, I look back and I'm like, who could, how? But we're really just reenacting our childhoods. So if someone hurt me in high school physically, what was happening to them at home? And when I realize that, I feel sick. Because I'm like, bro, I that happened to me once with that person. But were their parents doing that to them? Right? Like, I know it doesn't excuse behavior, but what is creating behavior in the first place? And the way my mind works that way probably makes me overly empathetic, right? Because I'm like, damn, that's a cry for help if I've ever seen it. To hurt someone you don't even know based on what they look like. And I've seen that quite a few late diagnosed autistic women relate to that they've been treated like they were mean because their face was too neutral or their voice was too neutral, and that's really just how we are. And we don't present, like, someone can't tell how excited I am sometimes when I am, or they can't tell how sad or stressed out I am. Or when I was younger, we'd like go out and underage drinking at parties, right? No one could tell if I was drunk. Like, I've just had this like chaotically neutralness, even though I'm just storms underneath. I'm so sensitive, so vulnerable, an artist, a thinker, a creative, a dreamer. I'm just like Peter Pan. I'm like maxed out at Disneyland, you know? So yeah, I think everything is kind of the same at the end of the day. It's like we're dealing with people's unresolved childhoods. And will our parents and people like in these generations be able to navigate this? Possibly no. So it takes radical acceptance, a lot of grief, like accepting grief. And then you're going to have to, it's a daily practice. Like, what I find is sometimes I reach out to people or things like that don't have capacity for me. And then I remember that they don't. And I have to kind of pull back. So it's okay to like go into your parents and try to tell and try to connect, and then catch yourself and hold yourself if it doesn't happen, because even if it does, it doesn't mean it always will, right? We have breakthrough moments. They're not always breakthroughs, right? That's why the present moment is so flippin' beautiful, because in that moment where my parents are looking at me and going, I know we haven't been resourceful sometimes, I feel so seen that I'm like, because the next 5 phone calls where I feel frustrated, I'll remember. that they're trying their best, I'm trying my best, where it's never person to person, it's pattern to pattern. It's pattern to pattern. And we have to be soft on the person and hard on the problem. And that's one thing I saw recently on social media. I saw it on Instagram. Soft on the person, hard on the problem. And that's all I wanted in column 1 of my life. Like, when I was going through this, that's all I wanted, was for my parents, my family, everyone in my life to pick me up and say, I've got you. I know you're scared. You don't look like yourself. I've got you. I'm here to remind you of who you are. But instead, the whole world was like, ew, calm down, go away, you're so bad, right? And it just made it worse because I started to take that on and I couldn't take it off, right? I went through probably 9 years of getting to the bottom of, like, it just felt like things just shifted when I was younger. Like, it was like one day my life changed very much, very, very much. And it was, in hindsight, like, diagnosably, just the burnout of an undiagnosed autistic ADHD woman hitting, like, changes in her hormones, when that's when burnout usually occurs, is like hormone changes and trauma and grief. And there was a couple incidences and my changing age and changes in my life, and I look back and I'm like, that's obviously burnout. But again, I'm 31, so that's 2011 when I graduated, and that ball kind of started rolling down and lighting itself on fire. So Roxana, I hope that you know this space is for you. Every week you can come here and you can bring everything, your personal desires, interests. Like, I want to know you. You can find me off of here. I want to know you guys. I want to be your friend. Like, if you need to replace that energetic, like, of like going to parents for stuff, like, we can be that for each other. And I really mean that. Like, I really do. I think you guys are all the best. I attract the most incredible people here because this community is amazing. And I wouldn't, the insight timer is incredible that this goes up and then look, 132 people joined, and look at all the incredible people I'm connecting with. Like, I'm very grateful. And I feel you very much in this. And I know a lot of people do. I think it's the number one thing I get questions about. And I think it's really common to have that neurodiverse child and narcissistic parent cycle. That's a really common pattern. And I wonder sometimes if a narcissistic parent is actually a neurodiverse parent, undiagnosed, and then they have narcissistic manifestations from surviving undiagnosed for so long. So I try to be very gentle on my parents when they have narcissistic qualities that show. I'm like, is this adaptive or is this you? Because when I have my parents and their hearts open in those moments of clarity, and my whole family, anyone I talk to, right? Like, anyone in life, you have a moment of clarity in your heart to heart, you know that that's a beautiful and glorious soul, right? We're all human, but these patterns, they're so tricky. They're so frustrating. I know so many people have cried themselves to sleep and begged and prayed and asked for a break, because you can go up against everything in the economy, your career, blah 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 blah. Then you go home to your family and you're destroyed emotionally. Like, it's actually insane how much we navigate so much just like emotional challenges, and we don't have the resources, and we often don't talk about it because it's like, shh, don't tell anyone your parents are dysfunctional. Bro, we're all dysfunctional. This whole planet is dysfunctional. What are we hiding? When we share these things and we're honest about and stay curious and open-minded, we are like creating an unknown safe place for someone else, a moment of relativity for someone who could have been like on the edge of their coping. Like, it's so impactful and it's so important. And I think that generations prior, it was really like, ooh, like don't lean on anyone. Like, we were just like, oh, like, David, brother, ooh. I always do that clip from Instagram. But that's literally the voice I hear in my head when I think of us just like taking on everything. Because the system around us benefits from us being full of shame and feeling like we need to fix ourselves, right? So when we are shaming ourselves and gaslighting ourselves into being overly independent too, like, we're serving a system that doesn't serve us. So it's so beautiful to come here and realize, like, it's actually important for us to share our story and to be vulnerable, and it feels actually good for us, and it actually doesn't stress out people. Like, we always think, oh, don't dump on people. But what if it's not dumping and it's actually resourceful and someone relates to it, right? Like, we're all just trying our best at the end of the day and learning how to advocate for ourselves in ways that doesn't stress out others, but also helps others learn, right? Like, that's why I never try to see things in the lens of good and bad, because who's to say what's good and bad? Like, open up your perception of each. You can argue it all day. Like, oh, Christine! Oh, Christine, I'm so glad you're here. Christine's been a few of my sessions, and again, I always say, like, the regulars, it feels like a warm hug. It feels like kind of I'm on a lake, and you guys are like my life jacket, and I just hug you guys and rest for a minute, because you know the drill. I dream of doing so many of these that we all know the drill, and I don't feel, I don't know, like pressured to introduce myself properly, or I don't know, you know? Just trying to make this like an open community space and keep the expectations low, and I feel like that's when I thrive. And a lot of neurodiverse people do, is like set yourself up for success. Like, I know I have the research and the things to say to come here, and then it's just like, it's just the anxiety of being human and being on camera and stuff the few days before. So I always try to just accept myself and say, like, yeah, it's human. It's very human. With practice, it'll just get more natural. And yeah, I never know the balance of like telling you guys who I am and go follow my profile, and also like just listening to me yap, because I could just yap the whole time. You guys could just remember to follow my profile and join my group and donate. You guys telepathically? No? That's something my family had to learn too, is like not expecting people to guess how you're feeling. Like, your family can't be telepathic. Oh, I didn't see that. It just scrolled away. Debbie, you said, but only towards the end of her time on here. Was that about Jessica? And then Heidi, what did you say? It left. Oh no. I'm trying to catch them before they go. Okay. Let's see. Thanks for sharing. That sucks, but seems like a chance for you to recognize your progress, and congratulations on your upgrade. Yay. Sucks, but chance you to recognize your progress. Sorry that happened. Thanks, guys. Oh, that was the guy when I was sharing about what happened yesterday. Been really edgy lately, so I get it. I appreciate you showing up as your authentic self. That means so much, Heidi. It means so much, because apparently I'm going to do it regardless, so it's nice to do it in rewarding spaces. No, I'm good. I'm good. I love that you first show yourself some acceptance. I remembered too. I don't know if I first did, Christine. I think the first thing I did was, like, I didn't even have time to cry. Like, I think at one point, like, I just remember not even going to the bathroom or drinking water, like, just being on the phone, calling, like, credit after credit card after bank after, like, just shutting down everything as fast as I could, and, like, finally taking 1 second to go to the bathroom, and, like, just sitting in my bathroom and just sobbing uncontrollably for 30 seconds, and then being like, okay, back at it, and getting my phone out and calling more numbers. And it was just, it was banana pants. I've said it a lot, but this, of all the experiences, this was the most banana pants. This is the craziest thing that has happened to me or anyone I know. Like, the sheer amount of loss, like, to literally take everything, all of my money, everything. And I'm like, okay, I reported everything, and they're like, okay, we'll see what we can do. And I'm like, see what we can do? What? And then that's when I was like, radical acceptance, because my heart will fail if in the absence of radical acceptance. Like, the stakes are high on the radical acceptance here. And I just put one foot in front of the other, and now I'm here. I've slept like an hour, and I'm here. And it's healing. It's helpful. It's very helpful. Thank you for you. Thank you guys. You are so, yeah, I got this, right? I don't want to got this, but I got this. And it's funny, because I was coming here to tell you guys, like, some of you know I'm like an obsessive cyclist. It's like my heart. I get emotional. I cry talking about it. Like, what it feels like for me to be on a bike. I swear I'm half woman, half bike. Okay, I'm not even half lover girl, half bike at this point. It's how I learned to regulate myself. I did not know I needed 4 hours of movement a day to be a functioning autistic woman. I do. I'm like I'm hyperactive, and I'm like, I need a lot of stimulation. And exercise is it for me. I love it so much. I cycle to and from my day job, where I'm a rock climbing instructor for kids, which is like loud and like all the things. But yeah, I found ways to regulate myself holistically, and it's really helped, and I love cycling so much, and I forgot where I was going with this, of course. Because why would I? Why wouldn't I? Today, with the lack of sleep, see. And this is why I advocate for the holistic lifestyle. Like, get that routine, get your sleep, get your nutrition, stay hydrated, because you deserve to be out here without this level of brain fog. It's like the second time I've dropped my thought there, and I'm like, I was something about biking. No. You did it, and you got it done and accomplished, and being in a new level. That means so much, Debbie. Want you to share your story. Okay. Brenda, thank you so much for your donation. It means so much, and today more than ever. Oh my god, you have no idea. I'm trying to like not go into scarcity mindset. Like I do affirmations every morning because I know I have some serious scarcity. My generations before me, like I'm not naive to the scarcity mindset that's been traveled down my generational. And I'm doing this for my nana, for my papa, for my grandparents every morning. I'm like, I am rich and relaxed. I am rich and relaxed. I am rich and relaxed. Like, it's funny because I'm not. Like, I'm like, make it better. I struggle. I get so tight, right? Because of that hypermobility. It's like my body doesn't have that natural and like low proprioception. It's like I'm always holding myself together. And I love to do a meditation with you guys and tell you to like let go and stop holding yourself together, because that's just like, it's effective. We don't realize how much we're like clenching behind our eyes or our shoulders or our hips, and how we're not even sitting in our chair. We're just kind of holding ourselves on top of our chair like some lunatic. Okay. I'm working on accepting the not so great parts, my shadow. You know what, Heidi? I think your shadow is the best part about you, and I don't even know you. I bet your shadow is passionate and super curious and super like hungry and super driven, and just you see the side of it, but really it's got so much power. Like our feminine rage is in our shadow, I feel like, and that's powerful. Put that on a bike. Maybe that's what I was gonna say, is that it all goes on the bike and it all transmutes. It's like alchemy. It is. Like, take your shadow and dance with it. Put it on a bike. Do something beautiful. Take it to the forest. Have a day with your shadow. It's when I just started to love my shadow. Like, it was like this super cool villain, you know? That it didn't feel as separate from me. And my inner child, it doesn't feel separate from me at all. When I'm excited, that's her. Like, she's right there. She's right here, guys. Like, I can feel her. She's like, are we doing good? Is it fun? We're doing lives? No way. We love talking. I always got social butterfly on my report cards, which is ironic, you know, with the autism. But with the right people, we're a yapper. Special interest? Yapper. At least I'm not sure that everything happens for a reason. It can get self-blaming. I talk about the line between this very often with myself, my parents, people in my life, and hopefully hear more Christine. I love that you said that, because I do everything happens for a reason in a resourceful light. And as soon as we step outside of the resourceful light, that's not everything happens for a reason. That's your survival brain. Like, don't let your human brain, you know, taint this, like, you know what I mean? Like, our brain has a negative bias. It's designed for our survival. We just don't need it like we used to. Like when we were out, you know, in the bush, as our ancestors were, our negativity bias protected us. Like, oh, this berry is poisonous, bad. I will not eat that one again, right? Like, I don't know if that's a good example of negativity bias, but it protects us. It's supposed to. Whenever I catch myself being inherently negative or self-blaming, I'm like, is this my little, like, survival switch turned on a little too high for things that don't need it? Like, and to have that awareness over your own switches is already an act of godliness, right? Like, because when we're in it, to see ourselves in it is not easy. So yeah, everything happens for a reason. There was a moment that I believe in good, and I don't question that. Like, I believe in good. There's good in everything, and the light always wins. Like, I am a diehard believer, and if it's bad, it's not over. I am a diehard believer, and we will all be liberated one day. Like, I am such a naive dreamer girl, Peter Pan lover girl. I am so devoutly, blindly trusting and believing that it all balances and it'll all be okay. And yesterday was the first time I ever really thought, what if it isn't? What if this is like, what if people get away with, like, what if this is how the world works in some ways? And I just like sat with the feeling of that, and it felt disgusting. And I was like, no. And not in an avoidant way, but I was like, no. No amount of money is going to take away what I learned and what carried me through this. Like, one dude trying to take all my money is not going to take all the tears, blood, sweat, tears, things I learned, people I met, lessons I've integrated, roads I've walked, music I've listened to, times my heart's been touched. No. And I thought, that's how that energy wins, is by me going, I'll cancel my live, I'll rest today. You know what I mean? I was so honored to see this as the resolution. Like, get on your live. These are your people. This is you look forward to this all week. Like, why would you know what I mean? And like, I just move forward so fast. I use the adrenaline for purpose. I use that to dial those numbers. Like, I didn't let it get on top of me, even though it was, you know? I didn't give up. It was a good mix in hindsight of adrenaline and surrender and acceptance and fear. And I think to be a human, we're gonna love so deeply someone in our lives, and we're gonna lose them. And that's something I have anticipatory grief, always. And it's like, even when I'm having a good moment, I'm like, but what if we all, you know, what if it's like just the worst case scenario at all times? And I think that is like trauma in some ways, right? Like, oh, it's going too well, or, you know? And to be able to hold space for all these emotions and all this is like, it's somewhat comforting in this unknowable world, that one thing we're promised for sure is grief and loss. And that is really empowering. Like, if I said that a few years ago, I don't know if it would be, like, it doesn't sound liberating the way I'm saying it, maybe, but in my heart, listen to like how kind of soft, you know, there's like this liberation within, like, it's gonna hurt, we're not gonna get out alive, things like this are gonna happen. I didn't expect that, or any of this to this capacity, and my story is crazy and diverse, and I'm still here, I'm still alive. And every time I ever was underestimated, or I wasn't tough enough, or like, look how I handle real problems. Yeah, maybe I cry over dumb things, okay? Because my system has been through a lot. And that's why radical acceptance is beautiful. No one has to know that you're an absolute gangster when it comes down to it. They get to find out, should they stay in your energy and honor it, right? Like, I'm such an advocate of, like, never explain yourself to people who don't have capacity to see how amazing you are. Like, no one at work, I think, at my day job would see that I would handle that well. They'd be like, oh God, like, you know? But it's like, yeah, you just gotta give yourself so much credit. And I hope when you come here, you see, like, you give each other credit, and you're like, hell yeah, to each of you know, to everyone that crosses your path. And then that comes back to you. And in your life, you catch yourself doing things a bit more resourcefully, a bit more softer, a bit more kinder, a bit more curious, a bit more observing, right? And yeah, like, and I was answering earlier about, like, the parent thing. Like, I know my parents have that, like, railway, that track set up to be unresourceful in a panic. And they did the best they've ever done. And they also were slightly unresourceful, but it was almost like comedic and comforting, because that, like, I have learned to expect that in a way. Like, expect the worst, prepare for the worst, expect the worst, prepare for the best. I don't know what it is, but you know what I mean? Like, it was almost comforting. Like, I just feel like I'm so much more detached and so much more solid in myself, and so much more accepting of myself. And it really is radical acceptance. The more you practice it here and there and everywhere, the more you go into anything, and you have that, like, that mountain, that impermeable mountain, that Thich Nhat Hanh poem, where I don't know what it, I should pull it up and read it, because honestly, that's so beautiful. It's like, when I started skiing, I was scared of heights and scared of skis, and I went from a green to a black diamond skier. I know in, like, different countries the colors are different, but that just means I was really bad and, like, actually kind of good now. And I was scared the whole time, but I just heard Thich Nhat Hanh's voice of, like, be the mountain, you know? It makes me want to cry. So, it's amazing to see that, who I've cultivated in sport and in wellness and in being here and in all the journaling, writing, creating resources, finding neurodiverse people like myself, starting to be an advocate, starting to be a leader, and how much it's changed who I am. And yeah, no matter who attacks me, it's like, you actually can't take me down. I mean, I'm not challenging anyone, but I feel It's all coming together, you know? Even when it's not. And I think that's the most beautiful thing we could go to workshops for. And we're always on the pursuit of this feeling, right? To do courses and this and that, to tap into our feminine this and to use that for that. And like everyone has a key to unlock, you know, something in their journey, and then they teach it. And we're always looking for answers and to fix ourselves and improve ourselves and yada yada yada. It's actually just accepting your own journey and dancing with parts of yourselves that unlocks this whole new level of ability. But don't get me wrong, I'm still gonna probably cry and sleep and eat just safe food for the next 2 weeks. And like I felt like I was like, so I just launched a new resource. I don't know. I'll if you guys are on my email list, I won't talk about it here. We'll focus on Insight Timer. But you guys know how to find me off of here, essentially, if you want to have any goodies or anything. But I launched something or got ready to launch something. Things were going so well, right? And it really is like that. Without radical acceptance, like, what can you do? Just sit on the floor screaming about something that's already done? All I can do is hope for the best and know, yeah, be prepared for the worst. And no matter what, I have these weekly hangouts, and that's the coolest thing that's ever happened to me. This is the craziest thing that's ever happened to me, and then this here is the coolest thing. So, again, the duality, right? So Christine, I agree. When it gets self-blaming, I'm like, that's not, because everything happens for a reason, feels like a tree. It feels like a flower. It feels like nature. It feels like an ocean wave. It feels like when you put your feet in the water and it laps over you. It's like everything like trust. But when you start to say, oh, everything happens for a reason, you manifested this terrible financial, you know, just destruction or, you know, problem. No, that's not the wave. That's not the flower. Like I try to catch when it's being identified and how, you know what I mean? Like how those thoughts are kind of, because it can lead to thoughts in either direction, right? It's kind of like a bait. You take one kind of neutral thought, then one kind of like, oh, did you mess up? And then you fall down shame spiral. It's like a fast fall, right? And to pull yourself out, you just have to have radical acceptance. Oh, I am experiencing shame. Oh, that makes sense. That's very human. I think a lot of people would experience shame right now. And then kind of stop spinning. Because you're like, oh, touche, this is like pretty human. And then slowly you get yourself back up and then you take a nap because that was crazy. And then people are like, why do you sleep so much? And I'm like, you have no idea, bro. The internal things. I just made a joke to someone important to me last night, and I said something about like, oh, can you eat in public? And he was like, oh, of course I can eat in public. You can't eat in public? And I was like, oh, I can eat in public. I just need like 3 hours notice before I do it, and then 3 extra hours of sleep that night. I just remember even being in middle school and high school and sometimes eating in the bathroom stall, because I don't know what it is about like being perceived and then eating. Like, it's a sensory thing. It's definitely autism, because being perceived is something that we definitely go over. And then sensory, food is a high sensory experience. So if you have like a weird ritual with food, or you're like, why am I like this, or only eat at night, or like, you know what I mean? You might want to look into like being neurodiverse and how that's manifesting for you. Because food can be a one for sure, especially when we all grew up with like the Kate Moss era and we thought we were all just like grunge chic and really thin, but we might actually have had like a restrictive food intake disorder and not known it. So that was the case with me. Just saying. I have no idea. I found a few people that have related, and I'm like, oh, group hug, guys. Tom, welcome. I'm recently diagnosed autistic at 40. It's helping me finally accept and understand myself. That's exactly how I feel. It made me stop trying to fix myself, because I realized like, oh, this is part of it. And in the stopping of trying to fix myself, there wasn't anything to fix anymore. Because it, like, in the radical acceptance, autism got to be beautiful. It got to be, I love music, I love skiing, I love cycling, I love medicine. Health? Let's talk about it. Like, my special interests got richer, my sensitivities became more beautiful. Like, it all just became more like, this is cool. Hard, systematically hard to survive, but very cool when you're in a safe space or with people that get you. It's like, wow, our lives are like turned up on high in some ways. It can be very ouchy, but also very beautiful. The duality. Melissa, your vulnerability is beautiful. Thank you so much. That means so much to me. Again, you guys have no idea. I think every couple of weeks I'm just going to do a session where I just cry at the camera to get it out, because all the parts in my brain, when I read these, I read them several times. I'm like, let that soak in to the subconscious part, all the parts of me that have come with me through the journey where I was told that I was bad or wrong, when really I was just learning and healing and growing, and we all are at some point, and it's not going to look how we expect. And if we don't have capacity for ourselves, we're not going to have capacity for others, despite how much we want to. Our intentions are not going to mean our behavior is good. And we have all kind of learned that a little bit, I'm sure, in some hard ways. But coming together to lay it all down and be like, oh, we're all just lover girls or boys at the end of it. We want a better world. We're all going to try our best. We're going to give ourselves more credit. We're going to be open to the fact that we might be undiagnosed neurodivergent, if that's relevant. Because sometimes it is. It's amazing. I thought I was on this spiritual journey, having spiritual awakenings, and I was just super autistic and undiagnosed and just having meltdowns and sensory overwhelm and so much problems, like executive dysfunction. And I thought, but it's an energetic time, like it's a timeline shift. No, girl, it's burnout. I mean, it's both. It all gets to coexist. I'm a spiritual girly through and through, right? But both, all of it, helpful. I take the Western, the Eastern, the spiritual, the holistic, like take it all and look at it all. Like I'm like a, you know, and like what resonates with you always, and then resources that don't make false promises. Intuition plus decent resources equals unbelievable breakthroughs that you never thought possible, right? And that's why we're here. Resource hub / weekly hangout. Please join the group too, because I can share more resources on there, like in the community chat. And I meant to pop in there this week, but again, yesterday is when I wanted to do social media, get on there, promo this, do all the things, and I was just, my day absolutely got wiped clean by my crisis. So yeah, I'm just so happy again that this app is the way that it is, that so many of you guys can find me and I don't have to do anything. Like that's the highest level of slay. There's no words for it. I'm trying to find a better word because obviously that's not it, but ironically in a way it almost is. Absolutely, the social and cultural aspects are so important to consider. I 100% agree. I think that the systematics of someone's situation, we can't coach and we can't heal and we can't fix anyone. We especially can't do it if we're ignoring the systematics of their situation. Like how many times has someone been told the first, like we said this earlier, the first piece of advice someone just projects onto you, and it's like you don't think that they've done that, like you don't think that there's something laying on top of them for them to still be in a place that they don't want to be. Like we just have to have so much patience with ourselves and others, and how difficult it is to make sometimes changes that we need to make or we want to make, and how to know if something's right for us. We never know. There's never a true compass or answer, someone going yes, like a magic 8-ball, like move back to your hometown or don't move back, you know. There's no way that we'll ever know. We're just trying our best. So real, authentic, on your own pilgrimage with endless availability. I love that. The pilgrimage word is, I love that, Debbie. Such a barrier for care. Truly, Heidi, I also share openly, guys, I'm self-diagnosed, like pretty confidently, because again, I have family members that are formally diagnosed, and I was diagnosed with ADHD when I was younger, and the comorbidity. And then I have a lot of resources like Dr. Kim Sage and Method Creative MPLS I always talk about on Instagram and stuff, talking about high mask, late diagnosed women. But one of the reasons that I'm self-diagnosed is because I am on a wait list to see a doctor. It's just not a thing where I live. Like it's like such a, like there's so many barriers to proper care. And even if I do to get even if I go through diagnosis, will they understand my phenotype, right? Like being highly masked or late diagnosed, women present differently, minorities present differently, like, and that's why I said your journey is valid no matter what. I don't make any false claims. I just share my personal experience, and I advocate for everyone to, no matter who they are and where they are, to feel safe. And I just want to create a softer and better world. So I'm very open about this. I'm totally an open book. You guys can message me off of here or on here. You can find me on here. You can follow my journey. Yeah. I love your wide spectrum thinking brain. That means so much, D, because that's like the best way to put it. I have a really wide scope on things, and it's so nice. And it took a lot, like hundrds of thousands of hours. Like I was an accelerated reader in elementary school. Like I was always reading. I think it was an escape thing, like in a way out. And now for me it's sport. But I read nonfiction. I read medical studies. I love reading research. I love like just PubMed and following down like similar related article, and I could just go for hours. I love it. I don't know. And I love other people that are always studying. I found other, holistic practitioners and stuff, and other practitioners that are always on the journey. And I love to align and attend their workshops. I've often gone to, like, because there's like free workshops, you can, you know, find people through social media that, you know, have different offerings. And I've often found myself in like a medical like Zoom, and it's like for practitioners to help them upgrade their knowledge on like a newer like facet of research or something. And I'm in it, and I'm not a doctor, and everyone else is, and I'm like, I did not. I just saw the topic and I wanted to go. So then I just go and turn my camera and my mic off and just listen and take notes. And I'm like, wow, that's wild. But when you want to know, and it's free, and they didn't say like you must, you know, you must be holding your PhD in this to join, you know. Some of it was lost on me for sure. Like, for sure, I'm not going to act to be like, you know, what's that really smart kid, that cartoon? No, Jimmy Neutron? Yeah, I'm not Jimmy Neutron. Just in my special interests, not anything else. For growth and expansion, and the lack of integrity can no longer be justified to be part of your worldview. Think that made sense about what you're saying. Yes, lack of integrity is the number one boot for me. Like, I didn't realize how, I was talking about this last week. Like, what are my values? What do I, like, sit with yourself. If you're ever like, what should I do right now? Like, ask yourself what your values are and see how much that clarifies who's in your life and why things in your past didn't work out. Because I realized that all the things in my life that passed through and didn't hold on very long lacked integrity. And I never noticed that. I never saw that, like, one kind of that pattern recognition between all of it. What test can I take online to see if I'm neurodivergent? D, if there was just a survey for that, like that, there probably is, but that's like, I feel like that's such a Western thing to be like, how do I know right now? Like, I don't think we ever really know. And I think I've said this before too on here, that like, there's diagnosis through different like resources and different people who have different levels of certification and different levels of self-study. So like, we never really know anything for sure. Like, I was misdiagnosed with everything but autism. I was literally like, you know what I mean? So to see if you're neurodivergent, I think to a certain point, it does have to be self-validated. Even if you are diagnosed with it or with something else, you know yourself best, and you know what resources feel good for you and helpful for you. Like, even if you don't have a good self-awareness, if you find a resource that helps you and you look at who the resource is for, like, that's kind of how I've started to kind of work backwards with the autism thing, is a lot of the resources and things being presented online were very helpful. Very helpful. Like, things that changed the way I saw it and immediate shifts in my life. And then bit by bit, I realized, like, okay, wow, like, I'm textbook in some ways, right? So research, radical acceptance, coming to like communities like this, finding other people that you relate to on social media, keeping an open mind, and just knowing that, like, okay, so you get tested online and someone says, bingo, you got it, now what? Like, what does it achieve for us? I don't know. Like, I'm an advocate for all label lists, like, you know what I mean? I advocate for all of it everywhere, all the time. Wherever you are is valid. If you do find a test online, that'd be so cool, and like, tell us where you find it, because can you imagine? Because I love, like, Ayurveda, you can do like your dosha test, and you can do it online really quick, and it's like tells you what, like, Vata, Pitta, Kapha, like the basic, like the elements and how they're balanced in your body. And I was just imagining that for neurodiversity, and I imagine, like, instead of like going through all of this, I just did an online quiz. Like, the irony of that. Like, is anything in life though ever that easy? I want it to be, but I also think that even if we find out we're neurodivergent, we still have to figure out our neurotype and what it manifests for us. Because no amount of testing or someone working with us is going to tell us how we're going to exactly experience our ADHD or autism. And neurodiversity is also like dyslexia and schizophrenia, and a few other things, I think. So I love that question, D, because like, I've been asked that before, and I'm like, I don't know that can exist because it's so nuanced, but I love that question. Jeff, I've been to several sessions. I always enjoy your perspective on life. Jeff, that means so much to me. That means so much to me. Like, I think I've had 11 sessions now. I feel like my favorite version of myself, and I'm so thankful for you guys that come back. My perspective on life, like, that's the best part about me. Like, trying to date or meet new people or make friends, like, as an adult, I'm always like, when can we get to my innards, you know? Like, get to know me, my heart, It really is beautiful, and I just love that. But it's, oh man, I don't know. I wish we could all just start with that, right? Like our heart, and then meet everything else. That would be amazing, actually. You just saw someone's aura before you saw them. Oh my god. Imagine the world! If you didn't know what someone looked like, you just saw their aura. And you had to choose to engage based on how, like, what it, oh. That's so beautiful. And then, like, anyone who is, like, suffering, it would be like Sims, you know? Like, the triangle's green or it's red. It's like someone's bad aura, but you wouldn't be bad aura and, like, avoid them. It'd be like community, like, work together, create resources, like, hard on the problem, soft on the person, and we all helped each other come back into our shining, glowing auras. God, I'm such a naive lover girl. I'm like imagining Avatar right now. I'm like, we'll all thrive. We won't steal money from each other. Oh my god. I haven't processed it yet. I think the delayed processing is going to come in hot. Next session, I'll have more insights. Rita from rainy Florida. I'm embarrassed. I feel like that has to be Florida. I'm in Canada, and geography makes me nervous. I don't know why. I like freeze when pronouncing people's names, and sometimes trying to understand what the letters mean from where they're from. So thank you for joining. That's beautiful. I just found out that one of my favorite people, I don't have a lot of friends, really. Actually, not really any at all. And that was one of the most beautiful things. Is one of my first sessions, I was like, guys, like, I need this as much as, you know, we're all here together, but it's for me too. And I feel like I've made so many friends since then. But I had one person here who kind of felt like a safe person, and I thought, oh, I'm so glad he's right there. He's a few blocks away. I never really saw him, and we didn't talk that much, but being autistic, like, that was enough for me. And he just moved to Florida today. Literally today. So I'm actually emotional for someone that I don't know that well or haven't spent that much time with, but just he was just so stoic. Like, he just always listened and just was just like, oh, that's okay. Like, he just had like the most stable, grounding, and unreactive energy. Like, he was always just like, that's okay, you're tired. I don't know. And he listened. I don't know. He was just so conscious and amazing. I'm saying that like he's dead. He's just going to Florida, but you know what I mean. I'd love to be in a place financially where I could just like go and travel and meet and see friends and visit. And there's people from Open Hearts Club. I literally want to go and like get a little bus and like go visit them and stuff. I'm not even kidding. And then what happened yesterday, it's crazy. Everything I worked towards for that and for my other dreams and my business, like, flashed, you know, was gone so quickly. So again, it means so much that you guys have just held capacity for me here today, and your donations and your support and your presence and the way that you have supported me leading up to this, so that I'm handling it seemingly well, but I still might cry after. Hopefully I just cried because I had a good session. Like, every time after these sessions, I'm so full of gratitude, I do get emotional. This is my third visit watching. I think you're awesome. That means so much, guys. Been here before. Love how you share your experience and views. Okay, guys, I haven't slept. You're gonna make me cry. Like, don't stop, though. Like, this is really good for me. Why don't they tell us that? Nina, why don't it, like, they, I'm like always like, who is they? And why are they not doing their job? Like, you know, we need to be told things younger, but I don't know whose job it is to tell us. Like, is it the education? Is it medical? Is it, like, what system? All of them. We need to recreate a more loving and aware world. Do you guys agree? Should we just redo it from the ground up? No, I think it's not about like revolting against capitalism and the patriarchy and the systems. It's about meeting ourselves so deeply and radically accepting ourselves so much that it spills out into the world, and the world just changes through that just silent act. Like, just imagine if we were all just radically accepting ourselves and others, how the whole world would change overnight. So no one can take me down as being like, you know, I'm not trying to stage a revolution here. I'm just trying to unite lover girls and help other people realize that they're just lover girls too. We all are, aren't we? At the end of it, when we come out, just as babies. And then we go into the world and we're so hurt and we lose sight of everything. Can't we come back to like our baby heart, full of love and light and innocence? Am I naive to think that we can? Maybe. Can you share your journey of discovering autism? I can do it, try to do it quickly. I always say I'm gonna do it, and then it's like 2 hours, and I'm like, I just know once I get going, I don't know how long it's gonna take. let me know, guys, like if you want me to do, because I have it in point form, and then I am going to write it out and post it eventually so it's more accessible. So let me know. I'll take like a vote, and I'll just keep reading the chat here. Been here before. Love how you share your experience and views. That means so much. Why don't they tell us that? I agree. Listening intently, Debbie. Thank you for letting me know, because sometimes I'm like, where'd they go? Tell us your story. Okay, Nina, Shant, wants the story. Shant? Let me know if I'm pronouncing your guys' names right. I'm Adriana, and I've been called Adriana my whole life, so I'm empathetic to having our names pronounced properly. Picking apples, raking them up. It's a lot because I use crutches. Listening to you is always empowering. Oh my goodness, that's so beautiful that I'm like out in like the yard with you right now. I love that. I wish I could come help you and we could just shoot and just talk about everything. Oh, Christine, where are you? Okay, like how do we make this happen? I want to help you with your apples, Christine. Christine, give me some apples. Oh, that's so beautiful. I love being associated with like empowerment. Like I'm like, me? Words can't express the gratitude I feel right now for you and your vulnerability. Okay, I'm gonna cry. Your story's helping me as a neurodivergent mama of an autistic, beautiful boy. Keep sharing your light, please. The world needs it. It's like kind of why I do it. It's like I work with kids too, and I see like level 3 kids and level 2 kids and even level 1 kids. Like I guess I would fall between level 1 and 2 depending on the day. It's all valid, and when we advocate for one of us, we advocate for all of us. And seeing kids and how close to God they are, whatever God you believe in, whatever it is, just like kids are so close to that still. I think Jessica said that puppies and babies are so like they've just come straight from that, and working with kids makes me fiercely protected. I think that's what made me step up faster into being an advocate. Like to literally, I only learned I was autistic last October. And to be here so quickly, I think it was because I want to know that if someone is level 3 or high needs and they only have their parents and then their parents pass away as they get older, where does that person go? And I want to build something so real in the time that when that happens, they have a place. They have a community. Like I don't want anyone to ever be alone in their disability or in their any of their challenges. And when I see young kids that struggle already, or I could see how the world around them may not accept them or understand them, I want to build something so great that it advocates and creates space and safety for everyone in all of those situations. Like that's something that's very much on my heart. And yesterday, of course, I was very shocked and scared, and I was like felt like giving up in some ways because everything I worked for so hard gone like that. But then I thought, what if this is like a hero's journey and I do end up creating something really beautiful? And like 40 years from now, there's like rehabilitation and different places for people who were undiagnosed and had substance abuse and were misunderstood, or people that were misdiagnosed and had a CPTSD and they have a place to have like impactful resources or representation. Or I just think about all the ways and all the things and all the services that could be provided, and that's just my obsession. Is that's what I want to do. I want to make it so anyone on the spectrum, anywhere, wherever they are, whoever they are, whether it's their child, their aunt, their uncle, themselves, their grandparent, they feel like they're not alone. They will never be alone. There's resources, there's safety. It can be a spiritual experience too. It can be like a really beautiful experience. We can all engage in life a little bit richer and more deeply together because we are more sensitive. And you know what I mean? We have these maybe disabilities in some places, but incredible abilities in other places. So yeah, it makes me emotional. I'm gonna cry. But it means so much when people say they're here for their kids, because I think I always want to just do like a moment of gratitude for parents, because to be a parent is to be like the greatest leader of all time. It's such an act of love to this planet just to be a parent and to choose, I don't know, it's just, and to be here and yeah, to do this for your kids is incredible. And would my story have been so challenging had me and my family found resources earlier, right? It's amazing because I'm getting to see how much it impacts already, like in this moment. It's immediate and it's going to ripple out, and then yeah, people don't have to struggle anymore because I know they're out there. I was rejected. I went through mental health. I was put through the system really badly, and I saw so many people that were so much worse than I was, and I was bad. And I think about them a lot. So I know that if I get the donations and I make enough resources and I make enough passive income and I build and I build and I build and I build a team and I get property and you know what I mean? And I just build this thing up until it's more real than ever. It can really make change. Really, really a lot. So I make resources all the time. That's what I'm doing when I'm not here. I'm the questions you guys ask me, I make like resources, like downloadable resources, and stuff like that. So I'm always coming up with ways to provide value, but also to find ways for it to support me. And yeah, for those of you that were here, you know, at the first part of the session when I told everyone that yesterday what happened with my like financial loss, there was like a hacker and all of this stuff essentially. So it's amazing because it really made me think like, okay, I'm like so distraught, but I'm also like driven to just like do it again. Like I'll do it all over again. And you know what I mean? It's like 100 steps forward and like 5,000 million steps back, and I don't care. Like I'm charging forward, and I've definitely got my eye on like what it's for at the end of the day. Because I know I'll go to my day job and I'll feel misrepresented as well, and I'll feel misunderstood as well, and someone in my life will tell me how they were kind of shamed for something, and I'll think, yep, this is what it's for. We're gonna free ourselves like one bit by bit. We're gonna liberate. We're gonna do the work. So coming together in community, I think, is the best way to do it. You can heal everything in your life. You can do so much alone, but you can't fake the community part. You know, they say if you want to go fast, do it alone. If you want to go far, do it in community. So thank you, Brenda. I'm not crying. Thank you. I'm so happy for you and your boy, and I'm so glad you guys are that you have each other. It's so beautiful that you're here. I'm so honored to have you and you know, by relation, him. I can't imagine how much, I don't know, just people on the spectrum, there's such a light within them that's so undeniably pure and true, and I'm so appreciative of anything that feels like a frustrating difference can come here and be a celebration. We can celebrate the differences because they're not differences here. We're all the same in how we're neurodiverse and how we're different. And we're really never alone in anything. No matter how crazy or specific or challenging our journey is. We know the most challenging journeys are the most rewarding. And while we didn't ask for it, man, we wouldn't change it, you know? I want to do it all. You are all mysterious, cool, autistic, and gay. You're my people. I love that so much, Nina, because that's my favorite thing. I saw that on like TikTok or whatever, and it was like my whole life I thought I was cool, mysterious, dark, and mysterious. Turns out I was just autistic and gay. It was literally true for me. I mean, obviously I've still had like male relationships, but part of my identity was understanding how I'm not, you know, within heteronormative standards. Amelia, thank you for your love. Tina, that's my mom. Adriana Alternative, that's my business. That's the thing I'm talking about that I want to build into this beautiful safe house for people all over the world that are on the spectrum to get resources. And when you donate, that's what it's going towards. And thank you, Mom. I love you so much for giving birth to me, making this very possible. Like, shout out Tina. And also for reminding me what my business is, because I come on here and I forget to do, you know, but you guys know at the end of the day, you know how to find me. My teacher profile on here has my website, and you guys can follow me. You can join the community group. I don't want to wait all week, you know, between sessions to talk to you guys. I miss you. Tatiana, is that how I say your name? That's so beautiful. Please correct me. Thank you for being here. I'm so glad you're here. It's so amazing to see new names and stuff here. I think I changed the time so that it's like less time people can come in. Like it's 2 hours now, but I think I set the session limit for an hour because I'm delusional and think I can only talk for an hour and get out. But I don't think any more people can join, you know what I mean? Like after. So I'm glad that you guys all got in before it closed out, and I'm so excited to see so many of you guys are new. And that's crazy because if I had known it was gonna be so many new people, I don't know if I would have come, because I was just like, again, so sleep deprived, so nervous. What a place to reach. Most can't say it yet. Oh, I appreciate that you guys see me. Jeff, I've always think research learns things about the average person, but most of us are not average, so info has to be adapted to my uniqueness. 100% Jeff, and that's why I've leaned into all those different perspectives and then my own, like a mix of all of the things, and that wide spectrum is so important. I also say to people too, my cheat sheet is, hey, you think you're neurodiverse? Okay. Everything in life, like, do it opposite. Like, people tell you how to do something, do it completely opposite and tell me if it's easier. Because that's, like, I always would call my parents after I figured, like, something out, learned something the hard way, and I'd be like, did you know I have to do things opposite? And they're like, yeah, we've been over this. I'm like, wow. I could have done it opposite. I can't think of an example right now, but what a word, suffering. I know it well. I'm sure you do. Anyone who can see me and resonate with me also knows the suffering and the challenges. So to be seen by you guys is also to have empathy for like, who hurt you? Guys, are you okay? Like, if you see me really clearly. Elias? How do I say that? Please correct me. It's so good to have you here. That's awesome. I have a friend with that name and I always mispronounce it. And I just call him Ivan. Which I think is like some people in Canada, because he's from Mexico, and some people in Canada call him Ivan, and I was like, respectfully, I have to too. He says it so beautiful when he says it. It's like, Elias? I don't. Help me. Phonetically, please. Guys, help me. I want to honor your names and your beautiful energy, and you for being here. Thank you for being here. And thank you, Nina, so much for your love. Debbie, thank you for your donation. That means so much too. Love your realness. What are we hiding? Oh, that's an awesome, like, I love that. I never realized some of my quotes really slap, you know? I'm like, what are we hiding? That's so true. What are we hiding? Sometimes I don't hear myself, you know? Christine, thank you so much for your donation. That means so much. God, you guys, it means so much. You guys like believe in my dreams. You solidify them just by being here, and your donations. You literally make my dream life possible. Like, I want to serve. Like, I want to be in my 60s and 70s and running the show and helping and reaching and learning and giving seminars and teaching. Like, I have big dreams, and you guys supporting them makes me scream cry in my bathroom. Especially when I'm sleep deprived and all of my money got embezzled. Thank you for making me scream cry for good reasons after scream crying for bad reasons. But again, we don't see things in the lens of good or bad, because if I didn't know embezzlement, would I know this joy? Would I know without the duality? Right? I love that so much. You guys are so encouraging. I'm so thankful for you guys. I'm just reading the comments and I'm like, it's always a trip out for me. I'm like, what? How is this possible? I've had 17 years of therapy, and something I'm just learning about myself is detached from emotions and overwhelmed me as a child. This emotional detachment from certain emotions, fear, panic, anxiety, shame, created high energy within me because I didn't want to feel these emotions. I was scared to feel these emotions. These emotions were locked in me, and the energy from them drove me, and I didn't know why. I now know it's because I didn't have the ability to help or teach me how to co-regulate my emotions because of her own similar wounds, and so she didn't have the ability. My mom? Is that what you're saying? My mom didn't have the ability? This is exactly the case with me, my family, and most families. Like, that is, you hit the nail on the head. 17 years of therapy, not a second wasted. Not a drop unintegrated. Can I just get like a D? You've done the work. You've done the work. Like, your self-awareness. Isn't it painful being self-aware though? And like, you learn so much in therapy, and it almost doesn't make it easier. It just makes you more self-responsible to the things that are hard, but they're yours to carry. Like, I just want to give you so much credit for everything you just shared there, because it's so true. Like, we are driven, like, they drive the car by emotions. Anything we avoid gets in the driver's seat. That resistance pushes it there. The radical acceptance and the curiosity is what pulls us back into the seat. And to share this like so eloquently, I just want to thank you so much for being here and for sharing that, because I relate to this so much, and I did not learn the tools I needed from my parents either, but I don't know that I was supposed to, because again, I look at the whole journey and I'm like, there's something at play here. And what if I do reach incredible heights and I'm able to help millions of people, say, right? It all was exactly how it needed to be in a way. So I can advocate so other people don't have to experience that or go through 17 years of therapy to get there. And like, look at us. We're rewiring ourselves, and how, like, look at how you go into the world and you probably don't project on people from those places, right? Or not to, or you use resources to prevent that. Like, plus you and me and everyone else here who's trying their best, like, we're creating a new world. And we never get credit for it. And I want you guys to know, there's so many of us that can probably relate to this. Like, 17 years of therapy. You invested in yourself in such a
phenomenal way, and I can't imagine how hard the work's been, and I can't imagine how long the journey's been. And I just want to say, like, you're just like an absolute rock star in my eyes. I'm really thankful that you typed that out and shared it. Like, thank you very much, Dee. That was really incredible. It's just so, it's so accurate. Like, and even when we think we're anxious, we're actually avoidant in some ways. Yeah, learning to, and who here, like, had to learn to feel their emotions? Like, who here was just thinking they were feeling their emotions? Me, like, I intellectualize them. I'm like, it's done, right? It's good? It's like, no, girl, you thought about it. You didn't feel it. Was it uncomfortable? You gotta feel it. You gotta sit and feel it. You gotta do it. You gotta hold the capacity for things you didn't ask for, things you didn't ask to be hurt by, you know? I'm so proud of all of us coming together and sharing this and making the world a more beautiful place. And even if it's just within our worlds, God, that's still incredible. Sonia, I discovered that I have ADHD a couple months ago, still digesting. And you will be, for sure. And we will be here to digest together, because I think that's so relatable for so many of us. And I was diagnosed when I was like 15, and that it didn't mean anything. They didn't know anything. So I was put on medication and walked out the door. Linda, thanks for sharing your heart. Linda, thank you for holding space for my heart and for being here. Christine, everyone. Tatiana, yes, that's correct. Happy to be here and applause your courage to be so authentic. If you get bummed out of the live, go to the teacher page, click on the live that says ended, and you can get back in. That's worked for me. So glad I got back in, so I get to be part of this community. Carolyn, that's a good tip. I'm like learning all this stuff because I feel like, again, 11 lives is like a lot, but not at the same time. So yeah, I appreciate you guys so much. And I'm always at a loss because now for 2 sessions I pushed off like my story and said I'll do it the next session, and we're already at 2 hours and 15 minutes, and I worry that once I get into it, because it's quite a bit, that I'm gonna end up spending another hour. I'm gonna let you guys decide, because I have to go to the bank and finish dealing with my situations. Can we wait a week for it? I feel like I promised it twice, and I try to say, you know, like, in my integrity. So if this is something you guys really want, I can also post what I have written on my story on my website in the meantime. It's like the first half. And then we can go over it right from the beginning. And I said that last time, but again, I didn't expect to get embezzled of all my money. So I think that is also valid. So let me know what you guys are feeling. If it's getting really late, if you want to go, if you want to just do a quick meditation or just keep sharing, say goodbye. It's hard for me to decide at this point from the lack of sleep. I just don't know if I'm going to be able to do it justice, because it's quite a long story. It's quite, you know, again, tumultuous and complex. So if you guys would hold me in the light and the patience of me doing it next week, that would be, I think, the best, because then I could really present it in a way too that's impactful for you guys. And you've already listened to so much today and held so much space for me. So hearts if you agree, and comments, outrage if you disagree. Let's see it. Any outrage, any hearts? You guys gotta give me. Am I still on here? You gotta let me know. I shared about my 17 because I can so relate to you. That means so much that you did, Dee. Like, that's incredible. Next week would be perfect. Is that okay with you guys? Because I really hate making promises that I don't keep, because that's electrocuting to me. Like, when someone tells me they're gonna do something and they don't do it, it feels like I'm being electrocuted by like several things at once. So I'm trying to learn the balance between, like, okay, you've been embezzled, like, you know, you don't have to do this today, and like, you've said twice now you're gonna do it, so do it, you know, walking that line, which is self-blame, which one's true, you know. Okay, I think we're gonna do it next week. We're gonna wrap up here. Yes, because then I can go to the bank during business hours, and yes, I think that's the best thing that we can do, because then I can continue to expand and take over the world and make it more beautiful for all of us. I gotta keep my eye on the prize. I'd love to just hang out all the time, though. Next week, you need a break. That means a lot. That means a lot. I think this is my break. I think I'm opposite, guys. This is the best I felt since it happened, and once this turns off, I'll probably feel like a little depleted and tired, but oh, you're so lovely, you guys. Okay. Well, I hope I've inspired you and empowered you in some way. I am so grateful for you guys, every single one of you, how you engage, how you share, your donations, your support, the way you support each other, just, yeah, everything about you guys. I think that these are probably going to end up being 2 hours a week. I think even if I try to do them earlier, they don't. So I'm going to just post a bunch more. So every Thursday, 11 a.m. The name might change. I might do like weekly hangout, or I might just leave it as radical acceptance. And I'll put the limit for like 2 hours, and we'll aim for that. And then join the community group, follow my profile on here. I have new tracks coming out. Yeah. That's basically it. And let me know when you guys want to see on here every time you come in. Just drop it in, drop it like it's hot. Be like, I need to meditate today, or I need this, I need that. And I'm sorry if we didn't meditate too, and if someone was looking forward to that. I'm so sorry, guys. I am kind of all over the place, but I guess I would expect the same from anyone else, right? It's like, this is a human experience if there's ever been one. So I love you guys. I'm gonna miss you a lot. Pressing end is really, really tough. Thank you. That means a lot, Dee, because I need to know this. I'm like, does it draw you in? If I get rid of the title Radical Acceptance, would I lose all these wonderful people, right? Because clearly it's working if I have this incredible audience and the best people ever. Like the absolute bee's knees. Every one of you. Every one of you. So I will leave the title in honor of Dee and Dee's 17 years of therapy, like an absolute legend in a world that needs to heal. We're gonna do it. We're not waiting for anyone. We're gonna do it together every week. I love you guys. Thank you so much for coming back. Okay, I have to sign off. Thank you for your hearts. Those little ones and your actual one too. Namaste, my friends. I will see you next week. Same place, same time, with way better news, I hope. I love you endlessly, and then some. And I'm your best friend. And whenever you need me throughout the week, you find me, and I'm here for you. I promise. I swear, guys. I just appreciate you. Find me at any point throughout the week. See you next week. Okay. Namaste.